All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to ABL Live. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, and I appreciate you for that. We got quite a few things going on tonight. Quite a few things happening in the media. War with Iran has been avoided for now. Hopefully we're able to keep it that way and not get into any kind of crazy things that we shouldn't be in. You know, the media, many on the left and some on the right, are trying to push for an Iranian war. I don't think anybody really wants that all over a drone. Now, granted, it was an expensive drone, but there was no man on board. Also, we have the Reparations hearing on Capitol Hill. That was a big time circus. You got certain people like Mitch McConnell who are saying, nah, we're not going to do that. The logistics behind it are going to be ridiculous. We've already done a lot of things to try and move past that particular point in time. What's the point of keep going down that same old road? Steve Harper didn't like that too much. That's a different story. Joe Biden is all of a sudden racist, according to many on the left. They may not come out and say it, but they're kind of alluding to it, talking about, oh, you're bragging about talking to segregationist senators. Well, why wouldn't he talk to them? They were Democrats in his own party. It's not even about being bipartisan. It's about working with your own people. Okay. Maybe they don't want Joe Biden to come out there and talk about the racist past and present of the Democratic Party. That could be what it is. And Jussie Smollett's case is not over yet. We still got some action happening. We'll talk about all that and some more on tonight's episode of ABL. Thank you for joining me. Definitely appreciate you. Like I said, y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me. We got quite a few topics on deck. Jussie Smollett's case being, I guess, not really reopened, but kind of re-examined, re-looked at, if that's a word. They're going to appoint a special prosecutor to see what's happening with the case. More specifically, how the state's attorney of Cook County, Kim Foxx, handled it. What did she do that was inappropriate? What did she do that was appropriate? A lot of different things, if you ask me, on the inappropriate side of things. Talking to Tina Chin, who was a friend of the Obamas, who knew Jussie and knew Jussie's sister. Possibly talking to someone in Jussie's family. A lot of different things like that were going on. So, on top of that, she decided to hire or appoint her aide, a top aide or assistant in the office to take her place. Okay, you want to recuse yourself, but still install a person from your own office, one of your friends. That's not how that works. You can't just put in a sub that's from your own space. You must appoint a special prosecutor. That has to be the course of action according to the law. Uh-oh, we got a storm going on. Hopefully I don't go out. Hopefully I don't lose no power. But according to the law, that's what has to happen. But she didn't do that. So we're going to see what happens, what's going to be the end result of all this coming up here. And Jussie still could be in some hot water. He has the possible criminal case on his back from it could be a criminal case in both situations, because let's not forget, he was facing 16 felonies. He was never actually acquitted or prosecuted. The charges were dropped, so it did not go to trial. So the charges could be brought back up and actually tried this time. And then at that point, you could see some criminal action. You could see some penitentiary time, some jail time from that, or maybe a civil penalty, a real thing, not just, community service and you pay and a fine. No. You may do much more than that. And then on top of that, you have the letter, the fake letter you sent to himself, allegedly, with the white powdery substance on the inside. That could carry some federal charges. And I think the reason why this case has been so scrutinized is because what he did could have sparked a race war. It could have really just added toward the already fragile racial tension in some of these inner city areas, and you don't need that. We saw that under Barack Obama with the Ferguson riots, the Baltimore riots. You don't want to have the same thing happening again from a big time celebrity like that. Because imagine how much attention the media a guy like that would get. the platform he has to be able to spread nonsense and lies that would stoke anger, fear, frustration, and riots. That's why this case is so important and so big. But we're going to get to all that in a few. We also have reparations thing. Somebody asked me about what if it's a lot of things. It's a lot of what ifs. It's so many what ifs. And one thing I want to make clear is that a lot of people are trying to frame it as a black versus white thing. I think that's what many people want this to be. But in reality, once you look at how the money will be distributed, it's not even about that. It's about the government versus black people. And the government is you and I, because without the funding from us, the people, there'd be no government. So it's about me. It's about you. It's about all of us as citizens being responsible for reparations, being responsible for slavery. Now, obviously, I'm not responsible for it. Number one, this is the year 2019. I was born in the 80s, so there is no way that I could be a slave owner or a slave or anything like that. And there's nobody alive today that was in slavery or a slave owner. So, I mean, the whole thing is just ridiculous. And then on top of that, it was not illegal back then. It's illegal now, but it was not illegal back then. 99.99% of people right now think that slavery is immoral, but back then it was a question mark. Is it immoral? Is it not immoral? That's what it was back then. So, I mean, reparations for what? And who would get the money? How would they get the money? The ancestry question is crazy. Mitch McConnell, in his statement, raised all the key points, or at least some of the basic ones. Like, there's been so many immigrants. It's been so much mixing of the races. There's been so many people that have gone from here to there. The ancestry is not really clear. It's been so much going on that it's difficult to know who is whose ancestor, and it's just so much happening that it doesn't make any sense at this point. All these years later, over 150 years later, it don't make no sense. Like, and then beyond that, where's money going to come from? How are you going to accrue? How are you going to collect all this capital? People talking about 500 grand per person. It's like, do you understand how much that would be? Okay, let's say you got 20 million black adults on the low end. 500 grand per person. I mean, just do the math. I'm not Albert Einstein right here, but you talking about, I'm assuming in the trillions, an amount of money, like 500 grand per person. That's $1 million per every two people. $1 million per every two people. So to 10 million, man, I mean, you had what, 20 people, $10 million already? I mean, it's absurd. But people that really want reparations, they really want this right to be this wrong to be righted. They're not thinking that far. All they say is, "I want money. I want money right now. Give it to me. I don't care how I get it." Nobody cares about where the money's going to come from, who's going to get it, how they're going to get it, how much it's going to be. People that really want it don't think about that. And when you ask them about that, then they get offended. Then they start to throw little attacks at you because you're kind of messing up the program. All they are worried about is just getting to a destination, getting to the finish line. And the finish line is, I want my check. Not thinking about anything that's surrounding it. Not thinking about how it would even be logical to give people this check with no real way to determine their ancestry totally. And then most of us in America are some kind of way mixed up, even if just by a little bit. If you poll the average African American and look at their DNA, you would see an 80% African DNA at most. That's about the highest you're going to get. We're probably between 65 and 85% African DNA. So there's a bunch of other races in there. So do you get a check according to your racial makeup? What if you have a grandma that came from the Bahamas and was not African American? It's so many things that people don't think about. It's crazy. Now, Dark Duck, I did see a little bit about Mayor Pete getting roasted by the protesters. Now, was it somebody got shot in South Bend? Is that what happened? And the protesters are like, yo, what's going on? What are you going to do about this? I don't know all the details, but I think I did see a little bit about that. Let me see. Yeah, I'm seeing some people in the chat that are upset at what I said, but what I said is true. It's all facts all day. I'm not gonna get up here and lie. Now, if what I said is incorrect or false, I'll open the phone lines in about 20 minutes. You guys can call me and let me know, or you can say what I got wrong factually in the chat, and then we can talk. But little jokes and stuff like that, that's funny, but the jokes ain't gonna get you no more money. the joking will not get you your check at the end of the day. So laugh all you want to, but at the end of the day, I'm correct. Now, I've not seen that video, Rapper 10,000, from Turning Point USA about the Holocaust survivors calling out AOC's construction camp comments. Oh, concentration camp, I guess is what you mean. I've not seen that, but, I think that her comments pretty much sum up what the left is all about nowadays. They're not really Israel sympathizers. It's funny how they talk about the right being Nazis, all this, that, and the third, but it's them that engage in this anti-Jewish kind of sentiment that's been happening a lot lately. It's them that do that. It ain't us. We love everybody. It's them that are talking about, oh, well, we ain't gonna get money into Israel, all this, that, and the third. People talk about giving money to Israel, but they don't talk about the money we give to Afghanistan and Iraq in that same breath, which is more than Israel. And people don't look at it in a deeper way. Shout out to my man Uber guy. I see you in the building, boss. Shout out to Shreeves. I see you as well. Nico, I see you. And shout out to the super chatters right quick before we get to the next things I got to say before we get to the calls. Let me see. Jonestown Autopsy says, POTUS orders stand down. Good call, Mr. President. There we go. 100%. I don't think anybody wanted that war with Iran. Hillary Clinton, when she was running, said, hey, or before she was running, matter of fact, this might have been in 2012 or before then. She was saying, when I get elected, I'm going to attack Iran immediately, right away, post haste. No provocation. Just, I'm going to attack them right now. She said that on the record. So I think that if you had Hillary Clinton in the situation, we'd be over there fighting right now. But luckily we don't. So shout out to Trump for that. Now, hopefully we keep that same energy throughout the presidency. I ain't trying to see Trump backslide on that and just go in there and do some kind of, no. Let's just stay out of other countries. Let's not start no kind of wars. We're trying to end wars. We don't need to have any more. So thank you to Trump for that. Thank you to Brazilian American Patriotic Soldier who says, what's cracking, doggy? You got mega country shirts. I should make some of those shirts. So that's a good suggestion. I'm gonna go ahead and screenshot that. I'm gonna get those shirts up to you in the merch section. And by the way, if you like these hats, if you like the flags and all that good stuff, all the links for that are in the description box below. And I thank y'all for joining the show. Oh, it definitely would have been World War III if Hillary was elected. Crypto Sky Green 7, 100,000%. She said it. She was like, we're going to attack Iran immediately if I were to be elected. So it's not even me just making up stuff or guessing what she would do. She said it publicly where she was recorded. So it's not even up for a debate. It is what it is. Let me see. And thank you also to, hold on, let me see. Shout out to Adam for your donation, who says first. I'm glad you're able to get in there first, boss. Thank you for that. All right. Let me see. Bernie supporters were having a fight at the rally. Is that what's going on? Who is still a Bernie supporter in 2019? I mean, I thought the new wave was Andrew Yang. I thought the same guys with the same kind of energy that was directed towards Bernie is now on Andrew Yang's side. The internet, the Yang gang, that's what that is, right? Bernie is like about 80 years old almost. Who's still supporting this man? It's funny how people on the left talk about how much they despise old white rich men, but Bernie is exactly that, an old white rich man. I don't understand. Well, he's Jewish, but to them he's white. So they throw all that out the window when it comes to getting some free money or something like that. All their principles, all their things they stand on just don't make a difference anymore. The left ain't nothing but double standards. Without double standards, they would have no standards. Without inconsistency, they would not have any kind of consistency at all. Yeah, they got nothing, but it's all good. How do I feel about Yang? I'm not a fan of Yang. I'm not really. I think that he's probably a good guy, but to be the president, no. Number one, he's a Democrat, or he's running as a Democrat, if I'm not mistaken. Number two, this whole thing about UBI is just, it's a welfare program, and we don't need that. We need to have less government involvement with our lives, not more. Less what do you call it? Entitlement programs. We're already kind of underwater with the programs we have right now. We can't even pay what we got right now. We're in debt paying what we got to pay right now in entitlements. So you want to add another one for what? And then beyond that, it's not even going to help those that are poor, because he said if you currently receive government benefits, you will not get any extra money. So it doesn't make any sense. If I were to get the money, I would benefit more than the poor person because I have income. I'm able to work and bring in money. So I would get money on top of that. But a poor person would just get their government benefits, their EBT, WIC, TANF. They would be in the same situation. It would not change at all. So I don't understand how that makes any sense. I could almost see the logic if it were going to give people that are poor more money, but it doesn't. It doesn't make any, it's illogical. I don't get it. Oh, their debt going to be through the roof. They're talking about it's going to cost $1 trillion per year. Like, it's going to be like $1 trillion per year to actually fund the UBI program. I mean, that's absurd. Shout out to Snap Turtle, who says, "What's goody, my guy? Everything's good, boss. Got some interesting things to say about reparations. I'm going to call you. Well, hey, I'm with it." Yeah, shout out to my man Antoine Tucker for Congress. He'll be running in AOC's district, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to try to get him on the show. We'll talk about that. I've met him before. Really good guy. Absolutely. Fantastic person. And he's a guy that I think has a very good chance because when he talks, he's confident in what he says. He's a convincing person, a strong personality. I like him. So shout out to my man Antoine Tucker. He has a great chance of being able to win. He's got folks behind him, so he's going to be good. He's going to be good money. All right. Somebody said I look like Ernest Lee Thomas, the actor from What's Happening. Is that Raj? I get that all the time. I guess it comes from my glasses, and I'm dark skinned with a clean shave. I get that every day. But thank you for your comment. And what else we got as far as topics today? Joe Biden's racist all of a sudden. Now, Joe Biden was talking about just getting along with his own party, not bipartisanship, not reaching out to people that were so-called racist. He was talking about those that are in your party. It don't matter what you agree with or disagree with. You got to be able to get along. Why is that a bad thing to get along with people? That should be a lesson that we all can learn from. Now, I'm not a fan of Joe Biden. I don't like Joe Biden's politics. I don't like his personal rhetoric. But that comment right there, I agree with. See, I'm able to kind of compartmentalize. I may not like a person at all, but I can look at a thing they say and see if it's true or false. I mean, the most evil man on planet Earth can say, hey, it's raining right now. If I'm seeing water come from the sky, I can't say you're lying because I hate the person or I strongly dislike them or they're an evil person. If they're right, they're right. So it is what it is. But people on his own party and his own party seem to disagree with that. They should agree because it should be all about unity, right? Because look at the whole thing is they're saying Trump is a divider, right? The divider in chief. But then when Joe Biden comes in and says, hey, let's work together as the Democrats, they say, nah, we don't want to do that because we disagree with you. So it kind of goes against their whole thing of trying to be working together, doesn't it? Maybe that's just me, but who am I? I'm just a guy thinking a little bit here. Yeah, exactly, J.S. When you're right, you're right. I mean, it's as simple as that. But people in his own party are fighting against him. Now, I didn't told y'all we're going to live stream the debates. The debates are coming up this coming week. It's going to be Wednesday the 26th and Thursday the 27th. I'm going to live stream them here on this channel, and it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. The way they got the nights split up are kind of crazy because they got the first debate. It's like they did some kind of raffle, some kind of drawing to figure out if you're going to be first or second. If you're going to have two different debates with 20 people total, have the first 10 be the top polling and the last 10 be the bottom polling. It's simple. But they want to be inclusive and they want to leave anybody out. So they got it all mixed up. It's just kind of weird. I saw a stat today that says the DNC raised half of what the RNC raised in this month. So you got 20 people running and you're under your tent. You can only raise half of what the GOP raised. The RNC in 1 month with just one person. I mean, it don't look too good. There's no enthusiasm. There's no excitement. There's no energy. There's no exuberance. There's nothing. All they have is the media on their side, making them look bigger than what they are. But once you get down to the ground, the facts are different. The money ain't flowing out the way it should be because people are not interested. They're more interested in Trump, other candidates, Fortnite, or something else. They're not interested in the Democratic Party anymore. And it's really their own fault because they become so far left. I mean, they've done that to themselves. So it is what it is. Oh, Eric Swalwell, why is he even still on television? Like, somebody told this man, hey, look, go back doing what you were doing before. This whole politics thing is not really going to be working out for you. It was hilarious to see him give this speech somewhere, and he paused for a little while after he said a remark and was waiting for applause and none came. All I could think about was Jeb Bush and the whole please clap moment. Eric Swalwell, you're not even drawing the crowd. Joe Biden is the same way, not really drawing the crowd. If Biden fills up a library in a local city where you live, I'd be surprised. But Trump is filling out arenas, stadiums. He's filling out some of the biggest places possible. That right there tells you that there's more enthusiasm and more support for the president because Democrats aren't afraid to tell you that they vote Democrat. But Republicans, some conservatives aren't going to be so forthcoming with who they vote for. People kind of got to be on the low, not really saying what's going on. So if you have so much vocal and public open support for the president, add on to that those who cannot be vocal for whatever reason, the support is just, it trumps whatever, no pun intended, it trumps whatever the left have. They don't have any kind of support. Yeah. Shout out to Chris Schneider who says, you're going to vomit from the winning, I promise. I'm with you on that one, man. Don't even worry about it. Reparations, it's a campaign promise. I've noticed when some of these people from the DNC, they've been on TV. It was this one lady, I can't pronounce her name. She had some kind of Inca, some kind of name, start with an X. But anyway, she was on Fox News talking, and I forget who that was. Just a regular anchor, wasn't even handed to her or nothing like that. They said, reparations, is that going to be a thing you focus on? And are we going to pay that? What's going on? Or we're going to talk about it. How about payments? Are you going to do that? Well, we're going to have a discussion. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see what's they're beating around the bush because they're not going to really pay it. They know that they can't do it, but they'll promise it to you because it sounds good on the campaign trail. They'll tell you whatever you want to hear to get your vote, to get elected. And then once they get in office, here come the excuses talking about, oh, well, we don't have support from the left and the right. The money ain't there in the budget, this, that, and the third. It ain't never going to be there. They'll promise you a thing and never deliver. That's how they are going to operate. Exactly the grunt. 8 years of Obama and no reparations. You would think that the first black, quote unquote, black president would at least bring it up, at least have the conversation. Not one time saw I bring up the conversation. He never talked about that at all. It was never a thing with Barack Obama. So I'm kind of scratching my head and I'm thinking, wait a minute. Why is it now all of a sudden after Obama left the White House that this whole thing has become a really big issue and we got to press for reparations now? Why not back when Obama was in office? You had the first quote unquote black president. Why not him? I think this is more of a litmus test for people to see if they're racist. And also it kind of became popular online. It was a meme. and this whole thing about ADOS took off, and now it's just popular to think that way. So that's why it's being talked about more. But it was not that way under Barack Obama for 8 years, ever at any point in time. So I find it hilarious to see that that's what's happening nowadays. But like I said, it ain't going to come. You're going to see people just, when it come debate time, you're going to see a challenge, a battle of who's more progressive than the other. Who's going to talk about LGBTQIA stuff? Who will talk about reparations? Who will talk about you can be whatever gender you want to be? Who will talk about the abortion issue is going to be really big? I would not be surprised if I saw somebody come up to the actual debate stage dressed in the bridesmaids. What's that? The Handmaid's Tale cosplay. If I saw Pocahontas wearing the Handmaid's Tale cosplay, I would not be surprised at all, because they're going to go through any length possible to get your vote. Tell you whatever you want to hear. They don't really care about being able to actually execute what they say, because it ain't about that. It's about just trying to get your vote. And that's pretty much all that it is. Obama's not ADOS, but neither is Trump. So why you bringing up, why Trump definitely ain't ADOS. So why would you tell Trump? Why is it now all of a sudden that Trump's in office, you got to talk to him about it? Or try to pressure those that are around him or other people, Elizabeth Warren, Marianne Williamson, random white people. Why you got to tell them? But you couldn't tell this mixed guy, half black, half white? And that made no sense. Oh, Burgess Owens did a great job in front of Congress. He was talking about, look, have the Democrats pay it, because they were the ones that have enacted all these negative policies against black people. Let them pay for it. And if you have white guilt and you want to pay, then go for it. It should be some kind of little jar in every Starbucks in America that said reparations on it. And if you want to put some money in that pot for reparations, you should do it. It's like those little boxes they have in the grocery store. Or like, matter of fact, how about this? When you go through the the checkout line, they say, do you want to donate $1 to X, Y, and Z fund? Do you want to donate $1 to reparations fund? That's hard to say that word. Do you want to put $1 in the pot for reparations? That should be what it is at the end of the day when you go through your checkout line, and see what happens with that. Matter of fact, if you donate, they should ring a little bell for you and take your picture and put you on a little wall. Like at Christmas time where you can give some toys or something to kids in the grocery store. And they give you this little paper stocking with your picture on it. They should have that for what you want to get some kickback for slavery. How about that? So, I'm just saying that should be what we do. That could be a good solution, rather than saying, let's force a government. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. What I said, I was kind of joking, but I think that'll actually work better than trying to get the government to break you off some money. Or just go around with a jar yourself like you homeless and say reparations, please, and see what you can get. Exactly, Dwayne Dixon. There you go. 100%. The land in Liberia, hey, that's open. I don't think it's illegal to move to Liberia. You could go there if you want to right now. That's what Liberia is for anyway, for people to go, quote unquote, back to Africa. Even though most people that went were not actually from there, but that's a different story. Yeah, go to Liberia where you're not even from. And that was a tragedy what happened there, because the American Liberians were just Americans coming to Africa and took over and then put them in slavery. But that's a whole different ball of wax. I don't even want to go down that road. The native Liberians did not like the American Liberians. We got to understand, we're not African. We're American. And if you want evidence of that, go to Africa right now, talking the way you talk, looking the way you look, sounding the way you sound, and see what they say. They're not going to say, welcome, brother. Welcome home, brother. They're going to say, you're an American. Can I get some money, please? That's what they're going to say. Hey, that's all good, recognized game. I look forward to your call. Hey, everybody know me. I love calls where I'm able to have a debate, have a good discussion. So I look forward to your call. Let me know your area code in the chat so I can make sure to get you on. I'm being dead serious too. Anybody know me know I'm being serious. I really enjoy having these kind of conversations. Okay, hold on, Kevin Duggan. You said these so-called progressive churches in Texas funding drag queen story time with kids in Texas. Yeah, that's crazy. Now, I saw that happening in libraries for some reason, public libraries funded by the cities. And some, yeah. Now you got churches doing it. See, you know, I don't want to speak ill of religion or Christianity, but at one point I consider myself to be kind of a Christian, I suppose, but not, I was a casual Christian, but now I'm kind of like, I'm leaning more towards agnostic because of stuff like that. Now I know there's some good people out there, some good churches out there, but I see too much of that foolishness to really be involved with it myself personally. I don't really want to get into the debates about the Bible and about what denomination is better than the other. I respect all that, but I would just be on the outside looking in. That's kind of how I do. But I do respect Christianity. I think Christianity in general is a good culture to have in America, but I also see way too much silly stuff going on. How you going to fund drag queen story time? How are there children allowed to be around? I saw a story, I don't know if I did a video or not, but there was a story of one of these so-called drag queens doing drag queen story time who was a sex offender who molested children. Okay, little boys. So you had a male dressed as a female performing in front of kids who had been locked up, convicted, not just accused. Oh, well, X, Y, and Z touched me. No, locked up for child molestation, who was in there doing the drag queen story time. Okay. I mean, anybody could have seen that coming. Now, I'm not saying the person did anything to the kids in the drag queen story time, but they did it before and they got locked up for it. So, nah. What if one of these churches fund this situation and then that happens? So, like, what's going to be the next course of action there? Which you're just going to stop doing it? You should have just not done it from the very beginning and you wouldn't have been all right. Okay, let me see. Hold on. I see a comment right here. It says, Nicola Chick says, Warriors for Christ YouTube channel. They protest at Drag Queen Story Hour event. Check them out. I will do. Yeah, absolutely. And thank all y'all for being here. We got 429 in the chat. Please give me a thumbs up if you're here. The likes are free. Sharing the video was free. And if you are a first-time viewer, please subscribe. That's free as well. I really, really appreciate you. This is a call-in show. I'm going to get to the calls in just a moment. Y'all just hang on, hang tight. If you want to get through, if you have a debate, you have an argument, whatever it is, just let me know your area code in the chat, and I'll try to get you on as soon as possible. If the phone is ringing and it's hanging up, just keep calling. It's like calling C-SPAN after a debate. It's going to be kind of hard to get in, but just keep trying. I'll try to get you on as soon as I can. All right. And thank y'all again for being here. I'm going to certainly appreciate it. Ilhan Omar, what? Now, I saw something about Ilhan Omar. What happened? Did she have some kind of marriage fraud? Now, I know she was allegedly married to her brother for immigration reasons. I'm not sure if that's true or false, but it was also something about how she didn't get a proper divorce, talking about, I had a religious divorce. No, this ain't Sudan. This is America. You got to get a proper divorce in the eyes of the law. You can't just do whatever you want to do. You can't say, oh, well, I got divorced and then get married again, but you still married legally. That's called bigamy. That's illegal. You go to jail for that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Okay, but we get to the calls here in just a moment. Hold on. Crypto Scott Green says a kid in the UK got expelled from school for saying there's only two genders. I mean, so I guess you get expelled from school for repeating biology, because I would imagine that you learn that in biology. In school, you learn there's two genders. I mean, I was taught in biology about gender, male, female, XX or XY, innie or outie. It is what it is. That's what you learn in school. So by repeating what you learned in school, you get expelled. I mean, come on. This is crazy. Thank you to the super chatters right quick before we get to the calls. I know I said that a few times already. But Snap Turtle says, I read Snap Turtle. Thank you for that. Brian Campbell says, who won a job if universal income is given? Yeah, the thing about UBI is that it doesn't even really help you if you don't have a job. If you don't have a job, you get government benefits for the most part. If you are on government benefits, you don't get UBI. So it's really weird. But thank you for your comment and your donation. Thank you to Camo Docket for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. If I didn't butcher your name. Thank you to Christopher Robin Marriott for your donation. I appreciate it. Jonestown Autopsy says Maxine Waters Halloween costume for sale on Amazon. You're wild. But thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate it. Let's get to the calls in just a moment. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And let me turn off my desktop audio so you don't get your ears punctured. All right, I got everybody on the line. And the number to call should be right here. There it is, 434-658-1220. That is the number to call. Do not be afraid. Also, if you want to call in through Skype, there is an email you can get put right here in the bottom, and we'll talk about whatever you got on your mind. All right, caller 561, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. This is Jay from South Florida. How you doing?
Everything is good, man. How about yourself?
Doing great, man.
No doubt, no doubt.
I can't wait to watch Candace Owens' show tomorrow with Mario Lopez. I'm surprised that he was a conservative. I said, Mario Lopez a conservative? I said, yes. Another guy that's an open conservative. I like to see that.
Hold on, what's happening? I didn't hear about this one.
So on the Candace Owens show on Sunday and on Perga YouTube channel, Mario Lopez will be her guest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, man, from Saved by the Bell, man. I didn't know he was a conservative. He said he's independent, but he's a conservative. I said, wow, like, man, that's a shock because I never thought he would be. I thought he'd be a liberal, but I guess he said there's a lot of conservatives that just don't talk about it.
Oh yeah, it's a whole lot of them, but they can't really come out because some of them are still trying to get things going in Hollywood, and some of them, they got friends and family that really wouldn't be too fond of what they're talking about. I've had people contact me, just regular people who are really big Trump supporters, but they can't say a word because they're afraid of what their family's going to say.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird time we're living in. Yes. So the meeting with we had Coleman Hughes and what's the football player that reparation hearing?
Yeah, what's my man's name? Burgess Owens.
Burgess Owens. I have his book written down that I want to buy one day, but I have so many other books I have to get through. So, but if you Google Coleman Hughes' name, you see that exchange, that hearing at Congress, and the guy, I didn't know he's a Democrat, but he sounded like a Republican, but when he was talking, man, I would love to hear the reaction behind him and the anger of those people's faces behind him. It's like, it's so ridiculous when you have a different point of view. It's like they were so angry with him, they even walk out of those meetings and say, these people are ridiculous. And when he's talking, they're interrupting him and saying all the things. But when the Democrat, like Ta-Nehisi Coates or embarrassment, Danny Glover there, they don't get interrupted. But what about Burgess and Hughes get interrupted? It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was crazy, but they were there to hear one particular ideology. They were not there to be respectful of other people and their talking points. And you could hear it because some of these guys had on their 80 shirts, so they were there for one particular reason, and that's fine. But give everybody respect.
Yeah, so black people must stay in code. Like they can't deviate from that because you be called a coon and all that. And if you Google YouTube Coleman Hughes name, and you see all these videos calling it a coon meeting, and like what does that mean?
I mean, just anytime I hear something like that, it's people that just don't agree with you, and they just can't really find the vocabulary to express themselves, so they just call you a coon. It's a catch-all phrase at this point in time.
Right, and then Coleman Hughes had a meeting where some kind of black town hall kind of thing, and you had one black woman who was so loud because he was just saying facts. He was comparing if white took over, like if you allowed a white farmers to leave an African country. I think he was using an example of Zimbabwe, and she was getting on him about because he was talking nice and calm with facts, and when she's talking loud and saying that's still racism and white supremacy, everybody's clapping, and that don't mean she's right. It sounds like these people don't understand. Like he's actually telling facts, but when she says something, it's racism still, and then she get a clap. Like these people are so stupid.
Right. Absolutely. 100%.
I don't understand that. Roland Martin, this man, he's getting really angry. Like when Paula White prayed for Donald Trump, he was extremely angry. Seemed like, and when Candace Owens say something, he get really angry because he wants to debate Paula White. He wants to debate Candace Owens. He wanted to debate Ben Shapiro. He wanted to debate everybody, but because they refused to, he wants to go to their job and meet them and debate with them. Like Roland Martin's going crazy, man.
Yeah, but see, the thing about Roland is that he does not have his show anymore on television. So he's trying to be like us.
Yeah.
He's trying to be a YouTuber, and he's going about it in an aggressive way that people don't like. It's like, all right, man, you want to have a debate, you want to have a discussion, that's fine, but don't be trying to like force me into it and bully me and come to my job and stuff like that. I'm gonna call the police, man. Don't be harassing me and follow me wherever I'm going.
Right.
But that's
right.
called desperation right there.
Yeah, stalker.
Yeah.
And when Brandon Tatum did a video about the Central Park Five, you should see the videos after that trying to debunk him about what he's talking about. And so many people if they see Brandon Tatum in person, they want to punch him in his face. They say, good luck with that. This man, he's
No.
well armed and he's a big guy, so good luck.
Yeah, Brandon, look, I'm 6'3", 225 right now. Brandon's bigger than me. So and he's a former officer and he likes to fight. So I don't think nobody want to do that.
Right. And that's crazy, yeah. And then my friend, she's a Democrat. She's too far left of me. She's a single mother. She said after seeing the movie When They See Us, she told her daughter she don't want her to be alone with her white friend. Also, you got to watch out for these cops because they're out there to kill black men.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. But, people watch these movies, these documentaries or whatever, and they tend to believe it. And the reason why is because they already had a feeling about police and white people and stuff like that. So they're more inclined to believe a thing because it's kind of like just playing on their preconceived notion and confirming what they thought already.
Right. And this is my last point. I don't know if you saw the CNN town hall with when they had those 6 Trump supporters. 2 black men, 1 black woman, and 1 white woman, 2 white men.
No, I didn't see that. Was it recently?
Yeah, recently. If you type CNN, which I don't like watching, but
yeah.
But you could tell CNN's fake news. They set it up where they made a little Trump supporter seem more racist when the one white lady said, "Oh, these immigrants, they're coming here with Nike shoes and cell phones." By saying that's racist. Like, no, it's not.
No, it's not racist at all. It's just a fact. I mean, you can see some of the videos. I mean, I saw the same thing. It's like some of these so-called starving migrants look better than Americans. You coming over here with designer clothes, cell phone, your hair done, your nails done. People on the street right now in America, looking really disheveled, ain't had a bath in days. But I got to have sympathy for people that are coming here illegally to get more money while the guy on the street is just left to suffer. It don't make no sense.
Right. So we already know CNN was fake news when they set up that meeting, made the Trump supporter look really unsympathetic to people who are immigrants. So I already knew that's fake news. I was like, I can't believe they set this up. But anyways, there's one quick thing. Kyle Kushuv, the only advice I'll tell him, man, stay on social media. It's never a good thing. I think social media is more negative than very good. So I think he should stay off social media. And that's the only thing I have to say about that.
All right, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, Bill. See you on, talk to you another time.
All right, now. Take care.
Take care, boy.
Sorry about the hold on. Sorry about the noise. I had to fix that right quick. But thank you to my man Jay from South Florida for the call. I most certainly appreciate him. All right. Shout out to everybody. Who is Merrill McCullough? If you're gonna say something like that, don't spam it. I'm gonna put you on timeout. All right, caller, you on the line 267.
Hey, what's up, bro?
What's going on? Who am I speaking to?
This is Recognized Gang from YouTube. Am I on right now?
You on right now?
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk to you about your views on reparations.
All righty.
And I think you're not wrong. That's the strange thing about it. But the rhetoric and the way that they're actually arguing that the reasons why they say we should get reparations is actually inaccurate. And for the most part, everything that they're discussing are just byproducts of the slavery, Jim Crow, mass incarceration era. But if you think about what reparations is actually, why descendants of African slaves actually are entitled to reparations, it's because of the crimes against humanity. And would you agree that slavery and Jim Crow were crimes against humanity?
Well, in today's standards, yes, but back then there was not.
Well, why do you say it wasn't back then?
Because it was widespread throughout the world.
Okay,
it was a common practice.
Right. So it was sanctioned by the government, by the state, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that is actually the evidence that you would refer to show that this was, in fact, a crime committed by the state, because there were laws that made slavery and Jim Crow actually legal. But these were, in fact, crimes against humanity, which is natural law, not administrative law.
But according to who?
Well, according to the United States, H.R. 194.
Okay,
when
did that get passed?
Well, that was an apology, a formal apology by America that said that they were complicit, or the North and the South were complicit in slavery, and it also says that they were wrong for doing it, and it says everything. Basically they admit it and apologize for it, which is, to me, is just an admission of guilt, which in any court proceedings would be a good thing for anybody who's trying to win a case. If you have admission of guilt,
but guilt,
you already got step one accomplished.
But guilt of what? Because you're talking about admission of guilt. Like, let's say I go steal a car and then I put on social media, I'm riding around in my new car, I just took it. That's an admission of guilt because it's a crime I committed. Right. It was illegal and I did it and I confessed. But slavery was not a crime. So guilt of what?
Well, slavery was a crime against humanity.
But it was not a crime.
It was not a crime. You're saying it's not a crime because the people who were committing the crime actually were also the people who made it lawful to do, which is why it is a crime against the state, because they are the ones who actually sanctioned it, and they were the ones who were complicit and also profited from slave labor.
But see, you can't judge a thing that happened years ago on today's standards to assign the moral, because really what we're talking about right now is just about morality and how people feel. No. That's really the point. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I don't want to hold you up too long. But that's really my point. The argument is not about morality. The crimes against humanity are always paid to the victims of any crime. There's always compensation. Anytime the U.S. goes in and they destroy a country, a nation, a community, they always repair that community. The exit strategy to slavery was in place with 40 acres and a mule. That was a real thing. That's not a myth. That was started. When Andrew Johnson came into office, he stopped that program. So that's another way that we can prove that they're liable, because they've admitted that they should, in fact, pay for it. No, wait a minute. Okay, so hold on. Did they say that we should pay reparations? Was that like an official?
They started paying it. They started paying reparations.
No, but my question was, did they say that they should pay it?
They started paying it.
But
so
sir, I get that part of it. I get the part about
that's what that means.
And but let's be specific, because when you're talking about laws and what people should do, what they shouldn't do, we gotta be really exact. So you're saying that
I am.
hold on, let me get it out. Let me get it out.
Statute.
I'm
sorry.
I got to get it out. Now,
You're
you're
right,
saying that they started this program, 40 Acres and a Mule or whatever, but they didn't say specifically that they should pay reparations. They just said, okay, here's a program. But they didn't say specifically
that was for reparations. That was a reparations program.
But they didn't say that.
40 Acres and a Mule
but they didn't
was a
say
reparations program for former slaves.
Okay, we can say that, but they didn't say it.
Is that not true? I mean, I could be wrong, but I believe that's true.
I mean, we can say that, but they didn't say it. If they said it,
no, they did say it, sir. That's what I'm telling you.
So
that was the reparations program.
What were their exact words?
40 Acres and a Mule was reparations for former slaves so that they can assimilate into the economic society of America.
Okay,
when Andrew Johnson, who was Lincoln's successor, when he came in and he stopped that program, that was the reason why slaves didn't get the reparations. And we went into Reconstruction and did it on our own. And then you got redemption when there was essentially economic envy and people came and burned it down.
So let's talk about like what we can do now, because people have tried to do this before, trying to bring court cases and lawsuits against the federal government. One thing that we don't really have, and shout out to one of my viewers, they told me this actually a few weeks ago, is we have a hard time developing like standing because slavery was legal back then, so there was no law that was violated. Let's say there was a campaign promise or something that people started, or a president started, and then it was ended by the next president. That is not me. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna finish. Mm-hmm. Let's just say it was a campaign promise that was started by one president and ended by another. Okay, that doesn't mean that the United States is liable, that they're responsible, because it was not. Hold on, I got to finish. It was not an illegal thing. Now they may say, okay, we can give you this, we can give you that, but they don't have to do it. They're not liable. They're not responsible. They're not bound by that. They're not bound by it.
No, you're right. Only reason why they're not bound by it is because they are, in fact, the government. So whatever they say goes. So I'm with you on that. And I want to just start. I want to just segue into, because I think I explained my. I mean, we can just probably disagree on that part. But I think I want to really touch on Burgess Owens and Coleman Hughes.
Yeah,
I honestly agree with everything that they said, as far as individual accountability, economic productivity, mobilization of our communities independently. I agree with all that.
Yeah.
But none of that has anything to do with reparations. Reparations is not something that's paid to people because they're poor or not doing well in society. Of course, it's going to improve the conditions of anybody, but it's not something that is being demanded or being legislated based on need. It's based on the crimes that were committed against humanity. From slavery, Jim Crow, convict leasing, then you have, of course, mass incarceration, redlining. All those things are actually in there. So it's not, the legislation, H.R. 40, is not specific or limited to slavery in any way. It's not about slavery only. So
okay, so is it about like what is it about like discrimination and
yeah, it is. Some of that is in there, but that's not what it's about. It's about compensation for the crimes that were committed against humanity. Now, we can disagree if that was in fact a crime against humanity, but the American government already did express that that was a crime against humanity with H.R. 194. So I'm not going to debate that part because that's already in legislation. So right now, I'm focusing on H.R. 40. As far as reparations, any other group that feels as though they're entitled to reparations for whatever hardships were placed upon them by the state, they should go, and I encourage them to go and create their own legislation, because obviously this H.R. 40 is specific to descendants of African people who were victim of chattel slavery. That's a specific claim. But I believe that there are a number of different groups in America who may or may not be entitled. But I don't see their claims out there. And if they choose not to bring a claim, then I totally understand. But reparations is a program that was already in place. and it was already started. And you're right. They stopped the program, and they're entitled to because they are the government.
Okay, but I gotta get to a few more calls. I gotta ask you a question here because I have the bill up. Well, I have the resolution from July 29th, 2008. Now, this was passed by the House.
2008? No. You should go to 2016, which is the current bill that's being sponsored by Shirley Jackson Lee. Well, it was actually written.
Okay,
it was actually written by John Conyers, though.
So it's being sponsored. That means it hasn't passed yet.
No, that means it's just been introduced, and yes, I'm sure we agree that it should have been introduced a long time ago. But it's been introduced every year since John Conyers had written it.
So,
but it was just
has it actually been passed?
No, it hasn't been passed. It's legislation that's been introduced.
Right. Okay.
The purpose of HR 40 is to basically create a commission to create the actual legislation and the remedies and the proposals for payment.
I understand. We kind of getting low on time, but you can't cite a bill that's not been passed.
No, I'm citing what's there. The legislation that's there that's being proposed is HR 40. It hasn't been passed. The HR 194, the apology from America, that has been passed a long time ago.
Okay. The question I was going to ask you is, has it passed? Because see right here it says it passed the House. But
which one?
HR 194 from 2008.
Yeah, that passed.
That passed the House. It didn't pass the Senate or get signed off by the president, right?
I believe it did get signed by the president.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right here. It says it passed the House.
Well, it was Mr. Cohen who was actually the head of. He was in the chair at the HR 40 hearing. He said that it was actually passed, but I mean, we can always cross-reference some other sources.
All right. I may cut you off, but we've been on for a while, so I got to get to a few more calls. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Hey, I just want to say I really appreciate your show. I think that it's a good thing that you do. You're always subjective. You think of things from both sides. And fair exchange of ideas is what we really are lacking in this country.
No doubt.
And I watch your show all the time, man, so I appreciate you, even though we disagree on this.
All right. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
I'm sorry for the loud noise. I really am, but it's not my fault. It's Skype acting up. RIP headphone users. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. All right. I'm gonna just try to fix this noise if I can. I'll see you, Lucas, in the chat if you're still there, man. Shout out to my man, Amazing Lucas, Uber guy. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Okay, let's see if this is gonna work. Y'all just hang tight for a moment. All right. 323 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, 323.
Oh, ABL? Is this the great ABL?
You're speaking to him. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, man. Yeah, this is LeJean Smith. I am a big fan of yours, first-time caller, and I endured that call you just had 2 months, brother. Hey, man, love what you're doing. Want to say I ain't no debater. I'm an agreeer with you, so it'll probably be a short call. So I'm going to try and get through my little points right quick. First of all, me and you both know why this reparations has been brought up. Come on now. Another way to further divide our community to where we both know Republicans ain't going to go for this because it's just nonsense. And when they turn it down, all these candidates going to go, hey, you know what? See, we tried to do this for you, but those evil Republicans, they wouldn't let us go through it. So vote Democrat in November. Come on, that's what it's really about. They're not trying to pass nothing. They ain't trying to do nothing. And I'm from California, L.A. Unfortunately, I live in Maxine Waters District, and I could walk down the street and show you the homeless that she walks through every day to go and attack Trump up in Washington. But like I said, I just want to hit a few points with you because I know you got a lot of people want to call. But I just want to tell you a little something about Kamala Harris. Being in California, we get a little more information about her, which she probably won't hit the national stage until she actually, she probably won't make it that far. I hope she doesn't. But you're aware that she was the Attorney General of California, right?
Yes.
Okay, when she was Attorney General of California, she had a pretty high conviction rate. And this will be why, because they were throwing brothers and anyone else in jail left and right, convictions. Well, I think it was Project Freedom or something, one of those college projects where the college kids get together and, they try and prove someone innocent. They proved a lot of her cases in her office where people were were found guilty, they were actually innocent. And when they brought this to her, and Deborah told her, she was told to release these people. You know, Kamala Harris refused to release these people because it would damage her conviction rates, even though she knew they were innocent. She refused to let them out of jail or prison, actually.
Wow. I mean, so, you know, somebody like that is out here talking about all these things about social justice and all this.
Exactly.
She was like a vicious cop.
She's a piece of work.
Yeah.
Oh, I got something else to tell you about her that will probably hit the national stage if she gets that far. How she now is #MeToo and believe the women and all that kind of crap. Well, ask her why. In her very own office, all the females sued the state of California for sexual harassment, and it cost our state $2 million to pay for all. Yeah, that's what I'm saying nationally, because I'm from California, and I look at her every day on TV like she's a piece of crap. I can't believe how much posturing she does for the national stage, which she won't get that far. Thank God she won't. But for us in California, like Maxine Waters, we know the real about both of these people. And unfortunately, they try to virtue signal to all these blacks and y'all who fall for this reparations stuff. Stop it. Please stop it, because they're not going to do it. They just put it in your face. So when they take it from you, you'll be mad at Trump, and which, by the way, I'm a huge Trump supporter. You'll be mad at Trump, blaming him for this not going through, like the evil white man is stopping you from getting free money, black people. Yeah, stop it. Don't, like the last guy, stop it. Just please stop. Stop it. All right? Like you said, a black president, and he didn't even mention this one time because he knew it would never get passed. So what you do, it was convenient that in 2016 they brought it up again after Trump gets in office so they could have this moment. So when he goes for re-election, see, look, the Republicans won't let him do it. Stop it. There's so much I'd like to talk to you about, but I know time is short. I just want to let you know, brother, there's black intellectuals like yourself that see through this BS, and we don't fall for none of this stuff. And we know what's really going on. I mean, it took me a second to catch on, but now that I watch you every day. I watch Major Lucas. I watch Truther Talk. You know, I watch all y'all because you give me hope that, you know, that blacks ain't as dumb as they think we are. They really think that, you know, I mean, a lot of us are, because I go in South Central every day, and if I say something about Trump, you know, I hear the same NPC, SJW stuff, that he's racist, he's all this stuff. And when I try to ask him for facts, well, can't you just tell? I'm like, really? I went to,
yeah, you know, that's what I get all the time too. They never want to actually come with some facts. It just, you know, because it's not even about facts, it's about their feelings. Yeah.
You know, I was in Santa Monica one time, right, talking to a white lady, and she kept talking so bad about Trump because she was around me, figured I was going to go, yeah. I was like, no, I actually support Trump. You know what she had the audacity to say to me? Have you looked in the mirror? I'm like, so what are you trying to say? Because I'm black, I'm supposed to agree with you automatically that I hate Trump too. No, I support Trump. So I should tell you something. Well, you are the shame to your people. That kind of crap. I'm like, you don't get out of my face with that. You make me so mad with your small-minded thinking. And for you white people, that's like, I'm ashamed to be white. I wish somebody would try to tell me to be ashamed to be black.
Never.
If you don't get away from me. Before I let you go, because I don't want to hold too much of your time, brother. I saw AOC. I don't know you heard the latest about her, but after I did see the video, but the Holocaust, they lit up into her. They literally lit into her. Like, how dare you compare what we went through to our borders? But getting back to because I know, because I posted on your page a few days ago that the Dems had finally caved and we're going to do the $4.5 billion. Well, now all of a sudden it seems it's being held up because AOC and her little crew of Omar, Ilan, and Tlaib, all of a sudden they want to hold it up and tell people, we refuse to give money and because we believe the president should do compassion. And what are you saying? Wait a minute, you complain about how these people are being mistreated at the border. You complain about how they're doing bad. But when the Democrats finally came in and said, okay, let's get this money so they can get the supplies and stuff, so if we're going to house them there, we at least be able to supply them. Now you're saying you don't want to give them the stuff they need to survive? What is your problem, hypocrite?
Exactly.
And one last thing before I let you go, because like I said, I'm going to bounce up out of here. Because I'm going to try and call you again at the time. Shoot, there's so much stuff I'd like to talk to you about.
It's a lot going on, ain't it?
Yeah, but especially about Corey Spartacus Booker. He's a piece of work, too. Man, I don't know whether to hit you with a Maxine one or a Joe Biden one, because these Democrats, these Democrats, I call them, I really don't know whether to Oh God! Every time I gotta bite my tongue when I watch your broadcast and when I watch everything else. But the last thing I want to hit you with is Maxine Waters, because when she did that famous push out against them and all that little crap that started all these people getting physical against Trump. I actually live in the Wilshire district, unfortunately, like about 5 minutes away from where she did that infamous speech. And it's funny that, and I just came from a district where her office is at. I mean, you go outside her office, nothing but homeless, all kinds of stuff right from the office, but she don't talk about them. She don't do nothing for them. She gets in her nice little car, drives to Beverly Hills, and this nice little mansion that she got. She don't even live in she don't even live in our district.
Not at all.
But yeah, she's supposed to represent us. Yeah, and they show her, and guess what? She lives behind a big gate, a big wall, but it's trying to stop America from putting one up. Oh yeah, one last thing, the illegals. Oh my God! You talk.
I can imagine in California, it's off the chain out there, ain't it?
Man, I'm gonna tell you how offensive this is. I'm born and raised. I'm not visiting. I'm born and raised in L.A., California, and it offends me when I go through parts of town, which when I was a kid used to walk through no problem. Now illegals have taken them over, and when I walk through, they have the nerve to look at me like, "What are you doing here? What are you doing here?"
It's like, excuse me, so, like I'm from here. Y'all got here just like yesterday. Y'all just came across the border recently. This is my house. What are you doing here?
Exactly. Yeah, but that's why I'm against immigration. Because all these people like Gavin Newsom, our governor's a piece of work too. He actually put a PSA out about, well, if ICE, which by the way, thank God Trump is coming to LA to go clean up some of this mess. If they come to your door, you don't have to answer. Don't answer. Our governor is doing this, telling people not to answer their door if ICE come get them. And they virtue signal so much that San Francisco is literally, I can't use the word, but let's put it like feces.
Yeah, everywhere. It's covered.
There. You can get with needles and feces, and they want it. They're like, oh, we want this to be the model for America. Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want doo doo and feces all over the ground and where I live at. I want it to be nice and safe to be able to walk around and enjoy it.
Yeah, they do all this virtue signaling about we're a sanctuary city and all that, but I know what you said last day, but I'm just saying there's so much stuff going on in this world, and man, I liked how Cher, because she was one of these SJWs that was saying, oh, everybody in California, let's take in someone who's a migrant and take him in your home, but yet when Trump said, you know what, California, since y'all want to play games with the game, I'm gonna put some of them in your sanctuary city. Cher was the first one to come out saying, what are you doing?
It's like wait, don't do that. Don't put them in my backyard now. I said bring them to the country, but don't bring them to where I live. See, it's funny how when that happens, when they get the threat of that, all of a sudden their tune changes. It's really interesting how they operate.
Exactly. That's what I'm gonna leave you on that one. But yeah, that's just on this one. But it's just that's why I say the virtue signaling is sickening out here, where because there's all actors and stuff out here, from the governor to all these, especially Robert. Yeah. I used to love this dude, but he's lost me now. They virtue signal so much that they try to convince people that, oh, I'm a moral person, but yet what is put in their face, oh well, no, I don't actually want it. I was just letting you know that a good person does that.
Exactly,
hey, ABL, I'm gonna let you go, but hey, dog, keep it going, man. Candace, you, Truth, all y'all, man, y'all give me faith that black people ain't ignorant and walking in the dark no more, man.
Hey, man, I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, man. Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate it.
Nah, I'm gonna be watching you tonight, man. Thank you.
All right, now take care.
You too.
All right, fantastic call, great call, and shout out to him for calling. And I did fix that wrinkle problem, so you don't hear that no more. The phone lines are jumping. I'll try to get everybody on as soon as I can. The number to call is 434-658-1220. The number is in the description box and also in the ticker. At a certain point in time, it will fade into that, but I got to get to my next call. All right, call you on the line, 563.
Hey, Anthony, it's your moderator, Dade.
All right, Dade, what's going on?
Not much. I'm just going to say something very quick. I think a lot of people know that my daughter is openly gay and that she serves in the Air Force. And I just want to really say that if Jussie Smollett doesn't get what's coming to him, it's going to cause a lot of problems for people in that community who actually are victims of crimes and their believability and actually getting stuff done legally for prosecuting offenders who do commit those types of crimes. I've been saying this since day one, and I honestly can say that if anything that Jussie Smollett does in the state of Illinois, it's going to be in the state of Illinois. I don't think he's going to get punished as he should. Yeah, I think he needs to be removed out. I think he needs to be removed out of that state for it actually to be dealt with properly.
Yeah, see, the thing about it, he has a couple different things on his head. The first one is the hate crime hoax in Chicago. But the second one is the federal offense of the mail fraud, where he allegedly mailed himself that fake letter with the cutout letters and the white powdery substance. So the federal thing is going to be a whole different ball of wax. So I think either way he's going to face some serious penalty because he got way too deep into it.
Yeah, that's really the only. I know that the federal one's going to slap him around pretty good, mainly because he screwed with the Postal Service, and I think a lot of people underestimate that. But you and I have, and a lot of people have been around knowing that people have pulled the anthrax hoax and all this other crap, so they don't really play games with that, especially after 9/11.
Right, correct.
But it was more my point as the parent of an LGBT child. It's just the fact that if something happened, he pulled this crap, and if something happens to somebody in that community, they are still likely less to be believed, especially if it's a genuine crime. And I think that's what he really needs to be taken. I think he really needs to be smacked around for it. That's just my opinion. That's all I got to say.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, man. Bye.
Right, no problem. All right. Thank you to my man Dave for the call. Most certainly appreciate it. And shout out to the super chatters right quick before I get to my next one. Thank you to G. Carjalo, who says, according to my niece who graduated from law school and is rising through the ranks, a Smollett prosecutor is within her rights. It's up to the voters now. Hey, we're going to see about that. I think the person that brought on a legal action, I forget her name right now, but I did a video and I put her name in the video. She may try to take over Kim Fox's spot. We'll see if that happens. Thank you to Carl's Opinion, who says, hey, Mr. Logan, how are you doing? Carl, hey, everything is great over here, boss. Just enjoying the calls and enjoying the show so far. So let me get to my next call here. Let's go. All right, call you on the line, 267. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello. Yes, I wanted to speak on a few things. One is the immigration law, and the other one is the land war. Okay. So, first off, regarding the immigration law, what people don't understand is the people that are currently coming in or, being let into our country, these people are not like the immigrants that used to come in back in the 80s, 70s, 60s, where they had good work ethics, where they were responsible people. They are intentionally allowing, I'm not saying all the immigrants are criminals, but criminals and people who lack skills and who are basically a burden to society. And it's purposely being done because, number one, of course, they want to use them for votes. Number two, they're trying to, just like Europe, destabilize America. A few years ago, when the immigration crisis first started all over West Europe, it caused a lot of problems financially and socially for Europeans. Am I correct?
Yes.
So now you're seeing same thing, not in a large scale, but a more small scale happening in the United States. The second thing regarding the war of the potential war in Iran, I don't know if you read up on, the end times and, the prophecy of America getting into World War III, if you're familiar with that. I think that we may go into a war. I'm right now, I'm in the National Guard, and so I'm very worried, and I keep up with that. But there are people who are trying to push war and setting up war. Then I don't know if it was you or somebody else. I listened to a few people, conservative, do some commentary where they said, there's a lot of things that are being set up, and I agree. they're trying to push war. Iran is not doing anything. Iran is not trying to get into war, but there are people who want to get into war for profit. It's going to be another 9/11, or it's going to feel like we back in.
Now, what I will say, what I will say is that Iran is not an innocent party, but I think that to go over there and try to fight them wouldn't be the right thing to do. But they're most certainly not an innocent party, totally.
But they haven't done anything to us.
I mean,
they haven't done anything. If you trying to say that it has to do with Israel, we don't have nothing to do with Israel.
Well, no, I didn't say nothing about Israel. I'm talking about just what Iran does all throughout the Middle East, not just in one particular place, but all over the Middle East. But at the end of the day, wait. I'm not saying that we should go over there and bomb them or anything. I'm just saying that let's not say that the Iranians are just totally innocent school children.
Well, and I didn't say that too, but what have they done, particular to us or to anybody in the Middle East?
Well, I'm talking about them funding terrorism all throughout the Middle East.
I feel like that's a lie, and they put that out there to make them look like, I guess, like perpetrators. I think that they had nothing. I think people had their information misconstrued, and that they are trying their best to fight against terrorists. If you do some more research on that, it's quite the opposite. But I just wanted to quickly say something regarding all this, with the immigration and the war. All of them are tied together, but for different reasons. And you don't touch on it, but you kind of touch the surface, but you really don't lift the cupboard. What people are afraid to talk about is everything that is going on has something to do with the Zionist agenda.
Oh, no. Don't, wait, sir, caller, listen. No, wait, caller, you're on my show. Caller, you're on my show. You're muted. Nobody can hear you. You're on my show. Don't get me canceled, please. I mean, let's not even go down that road. I understand you have a point to make. I get it, but don't do that here, please.
Straight up.
I mean, look, I'm going to be nice about this. Don't get this show canceled. I don't like, and personally, I don't even like this whole thing about, the Jews did this, the Jews did that. I think the best way to go about this is to not stick a nose into other folks' business and leave it at that, rather than trying to say, oh, it's the Zionist fault. If we do anything, as far as the war is concerned, that's us doing it. We can't say, oh, it's because they did it or they made us do it, if that makes any sense. So is that fair to say?
How about I do this? How about I do this instead of arguing with me because maybe I'm ignorant? How about you argue with somebody who's more fluent, educated with this issue? There's a man named Adam Green, and he's a very good expert on wars. I can send you information, and I think you and him would make great debaters. He's really good. He has done quite a few debates. But if you want me to, I can send you my email. I can try to get you in touch with him, and both of you can have a one-on-one.
Well, maybe I'll do that, but I'm gonna look into what he has going on. And on that note, I gotta get you a few more calls. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, why I gotta do that? Why are you gonna call me talking about the Jew this, Jew that? I mean, we just had trolls in here talk about, oh, Zionist this, Zionist that. I'm gonna say this, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you get offended, that's your problem. Jews are the white man's white man, if that makes any sense. And if you've not heard me say that before, I'll explain. A lot of non-white people want to blame the white man for everything that goes wrong in their life. Oh, my car don't start, it's the white man's fault. I can't get no job, it's the white man's fault. My wife left me, it's the white man's fault. My house then got mold on the outside roof or something, it's the white man's fault. But the white man's got to have somebody to blame too, sometimes. Not all, because not all non-whites blame the white man, and not all whites blame the Jewish man. But it's the same thing I see all the time. And furthermore, all it does is just kind of get me in trouble when I don't got nothing to do with it. I'm not trying to blame nobody, the white man, the Jewish man, or anybody. I'm just saying let's be responsible for what we do as people, and that's it. And let's all respect that if you could, for me. Thank you. Okay. Now I'm gonna get to my next call. How about that? 602, you don't line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Fred.
All right, Fred, what's happening?
Well, there's a couple things I want to talk about. First of all, my man Brandon Tatum with the Central Park 5.
Yeah.
Like, how I'm confused as to how is he defending the DA in that scenario? Like, explain that to me.
Well,
or the police.
Well, for me, I don't know that much about it to really give an opinion. I've just read things here and there. Personally, I was not that interested in the story. I did not know a lot about it when it came out. And I think right now it's being reintroduced to stoke racial tension and hatred so people can, get a little bit more traction on their side, on the Democratic side. But my question to you would be, if you know more about it than I do, what did the lady do that was wrong? Like, why was she a person that should not be defended?
Like, for example, in the movie, which when you talk to the 5 gentlemen, they were on Vlad TV, they were on Oprah, right? And they said the movie was basically a mirror image, right? And they had the director and everybody there. They had all the actors, the 5 guys. They said in the movie, the DA and the commissioner of the police is like, the DA was like, you're not giving me a whole lot to, like, you're asking me to stretch this. Like, none of the DNA fit with the with the 5.
But hold on,
like,
wait. What did she do though that was wrong? Because if she was a prosecutor, wasn't it her job to prosecute? What did she do specifically that was incorrect or wrong or illegal or immoral or unethical?
She knew, and she was talking to the commissioner, and she knew, and the commissioner is like, it's really not about, like, she brought up the idea of justice, and the commissioner's like, at this point, it's not about justice. It's about it. I forget the exact word that she said, but she said it's about survival. Is what she said, right?
Okay, but hold on, right quick. Now you're saying what she said, was that in the movie, or did you see like a recording of her say that? Like, where are you getting that information from?
Well, I mean, that is in the movie, but I mean, those guys were saying that the movie was just like. I mean, like,
but the woman said that
and
movie.
The cops.
Hold on, Fred. Right quick. Before you continue, the woman said that the movie was inaccurate. So who's who's right and who's wrong? Like, they're saying it was accurate. She's saying it wasn't. So who's right and who's wrong? I think at the end of the day, what should determine truth would be evidence from back then. Let's get some recording of her saying what she said. Let's get all that out, because the movie, they can say whatever they want.
We have the recordings of the kids.
No.
Right?
Of her, because you're saying what she said. You see what I'm saying? Because
I'll concede. I'll concede that. Let's say, for example, she was just doing her job, right? If you're doing your job and is your job to get a conviction, or is your job to seek justice?
It's to get a conviction if you're a prosecutor.
Okay. All right. So it's to get a conviction, even though that you know somebody's innocent.
I mean,
that's
an allegation.
I mean, is that justice?
I mean, but what you're saying about her knowing that they were innocent is an allegation. I mean, that's not been proven. You saw the movie, and they said that in the movie, but where is the evidence to say that that's what it was?
Well, I mean, the cops, the cops are, like, trying to piece this together, right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, let's be real, right? Let's just be real. We've got a rich woman, right? And somebody wants their pound of flesh. Like, we and it's a high-profile case, So it is about survival. Like, you have to win these high-profile cases. And I think it's an incredible injustice for all people groups, that we have to have a conviction, even if it's the wrong person.
I mean, but that's not a thing that we actually know, because all we can do on that is just speculate, because we don't have the actual facts. So I think it's unfair.
I want to talk about one other thing.
Okay.
Right. And it's something that I was talking with people about. Okay, reparations. Right.
Okay.
So whether black people get reparations or they don't, right? Personally, I think it's never going to happen. Right. And I think people just say it's going to happen to shut black people up. That's just my opinion. Right. But in the event that it does happen, this is what I think should happen. First of all, you have to refund black people every single dollar they've ever paid into the tax code, because you can't pay a reparation out of taxpayers' money that is the very same people that you're paying, right? So it's like you're black and you've been paying taxes, right? So if you were to get reparations, who did you get reparations from?
From myself. Yes, correct.
So if it does happen, you would first have to get a tax refund of every single tax you've ever paid federally, if it's coming from the Fed, state, if it's coming from the state, whatever, right? Or if you don't, it's not a true reparation.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing is silly. I mean,
does that make sense?
Yeah, it's not a very well thought out thing, in my humble opinion.
All right. Well, I know you got oh, by the way, right? I can guarantee you, right? Guaranteed, but Joe Biden is going to fall apart in this week in the debates.
Okay.
And there's going to be a slugfest between Warren. Warren's not on the good stage, right? But I can tell you, it's going to come down to Buttigieg and Yang.
Okay.
And Warren.
Okay, we gonna see about that.
And you know, and Andrew Yang, he's making his case, and I really like, if you go through every single one of his policies, take UBI out of the equation, because that's his big thing, right? And I understand UBI, and I get it, right? But if you take I know you don't agree with UBI, then that's okay.
I don't mean to cut you, but we got to kind of wrap it, because I got a lot of calls on the line.
Not a problem. One more thing. If you take every single one of his policies and go through them, they're just so incredibly solution-oriented, and they're not left, not right, but forward. And I'll leave you with that.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
All right. Thank you to Fred for the call. One thing about Andrew Yang is that he's running as a Democrat, correct? So his solutions may look like they're kind of centrist on paper, but when it comes down to voting with other people, like, you know, the Senate, the House, and they're voting for a thing, and he has the power to veto, and also the Supreme Court justices. If he's to get elected in 2020, which won't happen, but if he was, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg decides to go ahead and die or something like that, then what's going to be like, he's going to have to appoint somebody, and it's not going to be a conservative person. I can guarantee you that. But let me get to my next call. All right, Jordan, what's happening?
Nothing much. What about yourself?
Everything is good, man.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been away. It's been a hectic June.
Everything all right with you?
Yeah. Time is a good ailment. You know, it was a very hard pill to swallow, but you know the situation, so yeah. I'm not gonna press on it any further.
Yeah, my prayers out to you, man, for sure.
Thanks. So about Joe Biden, you know, one of the interesting things is that all the stuff that's happening with Joe Biden. My older brother had said that if Joe Biden ends up becoming the Democratic nominee for the president of the United States next year, then he would vote for Donald Trump, which is something that we wanted to do.
There we go.
Because, with Joe's comments about his cooperation, I also, with former segregationists and about civil nobility, I had agreed with them, but I knew that he was going to get tension with other Democrats who aren't going to actually care. And that it's kind of like, when people like Bill Buckley and Ronald Reagan didn't support the Civil Rights Act because of infringement upon civil liberties. And then they were like, well, actually, now we do support them like decades late, a decade or two later. It's kind of like that, except they didn't get as much blowback as what Joe Biden is getting. And so, I don't know, man. It just seems like this is going to end up like the 2016 election, where you have a candidate and the Democratic side that people in that side so desperately hate, and then you have Trump, and it's just going to end up like that again.
Right. That's correct.
Yeah. Let's see what else. About Jussie Smollett, about the caller who had mentioned that his daughter was a homosexual. I hope Jussie Smollett gets what's coming to him. I really do. That's really all I'll say about that.
Yeah, because he really did a number like that right there. You do have actual hate crimes that happened against people, and when you do something like that, it just puts all that into doubt. It's like, okay, is this a real hate crime, fake hate crime? What's really going on? It casts a shadow of doubt where maybe there really shouldn't be one.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was the whole idea. And then people want to swipe this by saying, oh, well, at least it started a conversation. That typical thing. You might as well just trademark that whole thing and say started a conversation trademark, because every time something goes wrong, people want to blindly see this in a positive light and just say, well, it started a conversation. That's all that matters. I hate that from people so much. That's what they're trying to spin it as.
It's a cop out, really, because what you wanted to happen didn't happen. Now all of a sudden you want to kind of spin it into something else, make it positive. No, it was a bad thing that happened. It shouldn't have happened, and he should get some kind of criminal penalty for that, in my humble opinion. But we're going to see.
But because look at the lawsuit that the city of Chicago is putting against him. They're trying to charge him for all of the I think $400,000 worth of damages done, and not just in terms of the reputation of the Chicago police, but of Chicago in general. And then there is what else is there? There's a subsidiary condition where he has to pay $5,000 for every false statement he's made in public. And then he has to pay lawyers' fees, not only for his lawyer, but for the opponent's lawyers too, if this goes through. Okay. So this is going to get expensive. This whole lawsuit that's happening is going to get expensive real fast.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I don't think, even as famous as Jussie Smollett is, I don't think he's going to be able to pay that amount, because this is just based off the internet. You know how the internet is. He's worth $500,000. So I don't even think he has enough to be able to pay off, all that himself. That's going to be a problem.
It definitely will, for sure. And he's already going through some lawyer fees right now for what he had already been through and what he's going to continue to go through. And he'll need some high-powered lawyers for this particular situation. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be an expense on his back, for sure.
Absolutely. Actually, let's get off of your topics for a moment. I want to talk about, the whole controversy with Cyberpunk 2077.
I've been hearing about that a little bit, but what's going on? Give me a little bit of
There's
insight.
A whole bunch of stuff. All these people on Twitter, and particularly Anita Sarkeesian, but I don't want to really talk about her. There's an outlet called Rock Paper Shotgun.
Yeah, I know about them. They're good.
Supposedly they had written kind of a hit piece on the game.
Really?
Yeah, they talked about stuff like particularly a man by the name of Josh Walker, who's one of the authors on that site. He talked about how on top of all these critiques on Twitter, talked about how there was a one of the demos, I believe, had a picture, an advertisement of what looked like a woman but below there was there appears to be male genitalia, and people called that transphobic. And that's not even all.
Wait. Let's pause for a moment. So it looked like it was a male up top from the physical features, I suppose.
No, female.
A female up top, but then it had male genitalia.
Yeah, it's the bulge, that type of thing, that explicit stuff.
So that's transphobic?
Apparently so, probably because of the way it was presented, some sort of objectification. I don't know with these people.
Come on. I mean, that's crazy. We didn't have video games with sex scenes in them, so now all of a sudden the bulge is objectifying. That's crazy.
And that's not even just it. There's this gang in the game, and I know people might be, all the non-gamers here might be disinterested in the topic, but there's a gang called the Animals, and I think there was a closed doors demo of the gameplay, and it involved a bunch of black people in that group getting shot. Do you see where this is going?
Yeah, I see where we're going with that.
And so people decided to call that racist because the gang called themselves animals, and it consists of black people. And then there's a gang called the Voodoo Boys, which is based off a Haiti ethnic group or a religion called the Voodoo.
Yeah, Voodoo. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, and people criticize that as well as cultural appropriation, that type of stuff. And then the director, the person who created the tabletop series based off of it, Mike Pondsworth.
He's black.
He's black. Yeah. And he went on and he's also involved in, advising the game and all that stuff. He went on Reddit and pretty much started blasting everyone, talking about, I'm sick of people telling me as a black man what to be offended by.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was great. That was great on him to do that, because a lot of guys was kind of with a coward in the back, not said anything, but he was out there in the front like, stop this. This is madness, and I'm glad that he said something.
Yeah, and there were people even up in Haiti. In Haiti, there were people like Haitians who had come to see these demos for Cyberpunk 2077, and they saw these Voodoo Boy characters. And they came out happy because they felt like they were represented pretty accurately in the whole in that whole ordeal, in the whole game.
That's right.
But it doesn't matter to these people because the guy I talked to you about, Josh Walker, took it a step further and doubled down on his comments by saying it's entirely possible for a black person to do something that is sort of objectively offensive to his own race. Despite him defending it all that stuff. And
was the guy you're talking about, was that a white guy, black guy?
Of course.
It's a white guy talking about, well, it doesn't matter that the creator of the game, who is black, or the tabletop game, it doesn't matter that he's black and he's not offended. I'm offended because he should be offended. Therefore, I'm right, he's wrong.
Exactly. It's being offended for other people.
All right.
Pretty much. And he retracted those statements, and they had to apologize. But I think the apology is not really genuine. It's just for the sake of saving the place he worked for. But it just goes to show how bad it's just gotten in the realm of video games. It's like any little thing that goes off in this PC world, people will just lampoon it. I mean, even after that whole ordeal, there was a guy who called pretty much everyone who pre-ordered the game idiots. And it's not even a matter of, we would suggest not pre-ordering the game because of, the risk that it may not be a good game. But the way they said it, they just call them idiots, they called them dumb. And it was on their website, I believe. It's just tragic, man. These people have a personal vendetta against the people who like this game.
Yeah, some people just got to find something to complain about, something to cry about, something to be outraged and offended by, even though it ain't nothing there. They got to find something, which is kind of a crazy way to live.
Exactly. And as a last note, the reparations talk.
We kind of getting short on time. I don't mean to
know.
Yeah.
I'll get it right quick. I think Owens did a great job. I had an entire blog as to why I don't think reparations work. Like I mentioned Zimbabwe, you mentioned Liberia and the history of that. You have to think about something like Plessy versus Ferguson, where you had to have only a black ancestor to be discriminated against. So how far does that rabbit hole go? On Native Americans owned slaves, and a bunch of other things. At some point, I might post that somewhere, maybe on my Instagram or something, just for that everyone can see. But there are lots of arguments against reparations that I would love. If I ever became a famous guy or a political commentator, I would love to go in front of the courts and just read it out, because it's just fascinating.
Absolutely, man, 100%. Well, thank you for the call as always, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, not a problem. Have a good stream. I'll be in chat.
All right, thank you to you, man. Peace.
Peace.
All right, thank you to my man Jordan for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. The phone lines are blowing up. I'm gonna try to get you on as soon as I can. If you are on the line, keep on trying. I'm gonna get you in there. 651 on your line. Who am I speaking to?
Am I actually on right now?
Yes, you are. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, man, tell you. I will tell you.
Huh?
Joyu. Or you can just call me by my last name, matter.
All right. What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Everything's good. Can't complain. What's on your mind?
I'm just looking at Twitter right now, and I'm just trying to find out something to talk about. But actually, there's a pride parade going on right now, like where I'm at.
It's a what?
Pride, like the event Pride parade, like gay pride.
Oh, Pride Parade. Okay. Now, are you like? Do you live close by it? Are you seeing stuff fly by your window? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm working right now in downtown.
Oh, okay.
And it's pretty crazy. Like you see it everywhere. Like it's massive. Like flags are flying everywhere and everything.
Now, are you in a very liberal place or more conservative?
Yeah, I'm in a very liberal place. I mean, yeah.
So you're probably seeing like full on male nudity right now.
Bro, it's a crazy thing. It's like things just like it's quick, but I don't know. It's weird to see, like, and it's like kids too. So I'm like, just like kids be in the area and shit, like just like.
Oh no cussing on the show, please.
Yeah, my bad.
So you got children around these men with their Jimmy just hanging out, basically.
Basically.
That's insane.
Know, it's insane, man. It's insane, man. I don't know. It's just like, I don't personally care if, like, it's just kids. Come on, like, you can do whatever you want in your own part, like, in your own time. But, like, having kids there and just, like, this kind of activity being involved around kids, I don't know. It just kind of feels very unsettling.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. If you got these people that want to play dress up, do whatever they want to do, that's their business. I think that, number one, they should do that behind closed doors. They shouldn't be outside with their twig and berries swinging around like it ain't nothing wrong with that, because we do have laws in this country that say that's not okay. And beyond that, I don't think children should be involved at all in any kind of sexual display like that. It's just it should be illegal if it's not.
Yeah, and it's like going back to, like, how do you, like, I don't know, you can just, like, set aside. I really am not gonna even, like, comment or do, like, anything like, it's bad or anything. But literally, it's just like, I have a brother and sister, like younger brother and sister. I would not want them to be, like, seeing, like, this, full on, like, I don't know. It's kind of confusing because, like, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you wouldn't see kind of things like this. But now it's just like
it's just normal, like it's no problem
everywhere.
Yeah,
and it's not even like this is like California or New York or something. It's not like the full, like, I don't know how to even explain it. It's kids, like, a 10-year-old, come on, like a 5-year-old, like, it's just confusing. I don't know how to see it, like, perspective wise.
Yeah, I mean,
like, I'm just asking, how would you think about it? Like, if you had like a like a daughter, a 10-year-old daughter, and just like you were just walking around downtown, and you said all this kind of stuff.
Nah, I mean, I wouldn't even be down there at that particular point in time. I just, it's just like I wouldn't take my children into some kind of gay bar or something like that. I just wouldn't even be there. So if my city is allowing that to happen, first of all, I'm questioning where I live. Like, what kind of place am I in? But beyond that, I just wouldn't be down there at that particular point in time. Now, if I happen to find my way in there, if I just happened to be downtown for some reason, I didn't know what was going on. All of a sudden, you got men just swinging and stuff around. I might knock somebody out just on the strength. If they get a little bit too close.
Really?
Oh yeah, if they get too close to
I
me.
mean, to protect my child, yeah.
Oh, but yeah, like that's all that it is. If they say something to the child or try to reach for him, nah, that's an instant KO ASAP. But if they minding their own business, hey, that's all right. But you come over here and try to interfere with the kids, nah.
I don't know. It's just like, because you see, like, police are everywhere too, and like the event is fully like sponsored by police, and like they got cops on every block just watching and organizing. So like, I know you were saying like it was illegal before, but it's like, you know, the foot, like everyone's behind it, you know, like flags are flying everywhere and everything. So like, you want kids there and everything. So it's not like, you know how you said it was like illegal over the every part and everything. Like it's technically like it's under the sport, like you know, the state and everything. So I don't know. It's just confusing, man. It's just like surprising to see, especially with kids, you know.
I'm with you on that, man. But thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Thank you for the call. Appreciate your work, man.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. I appreciate him for calling. And number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. And I'm going to try to get to everybody as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. 218, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 218.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm watching the delay here, so just hold on.
All right, just put that on mute for me, please.
Yeah, I just muted you. You know, there's so many things here that I'm looking at, that topics that have been covered here on your show. You know, one is, well, what the last caller just talked about with the pride parades and kids and exposure and conditioning. And, you know, my question on that is, what kind of military are we going to be developing, you know, with all this conditioning of boys should be girls and girls should be boys. And then we've got all this sports stuff that's going on and the conflicts there. And the other issue is, I'm hearing news that Trump is going to halt deportation for the next 2 weeks. And yet I'm hearing other stories that the deportation starts tomorrow. And then there was another person that was talking about games. And I don't play video games. I don't even venture into that sort of thing. But I do believe that all games are preconditioning. And it's like a role-playing mind control. You know, so people are somewhat psychologically set up, you know, to accept and be numb, you know, to what's going on around them. And I think that kind of wraps up the whole circuitry here of these three things that I'm talking about. You know, these kids being exposed to these parades, and they've got these story reading times. And some of the people that come in and do these story reading times in the schools are actual pedophiles. They have records. We don't know who they are.
Correct.
I'm really worried about that one. I'm thankful that, you know, I'm not a new mother nowadays. But I just want to throw that at you and let you talk about it.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right now. Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, you know, there are some things out there that could be seen as conditioning for sure. Absolutely. Some of these games, they try to push certain narratives, but I think the main thing would be you got to have the proper parenting. If these kids ain't parented properly, then you're going to have an issue. Most certainly. In the military right now, I'm hearing some people say that you got these things called stress cards where you can, you know, like shout out to this YouTuber, I forget his name, but he does good parodies of how your drill sergeant would be from year to year, you know, from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 10s. You got guys on their phone doing all kind of stuff. it's changed, and hopefully, if the military has changed too much in a negative direction, we can bring it back to a positive direction. But I'm not going to say that all hope is lost and we're just, we're not there yet. We just got to make sure that everything's on the up and up. And I could pretty much park that right there. But we got a few more calls. 702, you know, line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's Rob in Vegas. How you doing?
Everything is great, man. How about yourself?
Oh, it's going great. Hey, I've got a few topics to touch on. How about all the illegal aliens that are coming in that have criminal records?
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of them. People that get deported over and over again. People that have murdered people, sexual assaulters, all kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, isn't that encouraging me too?
Hey, that's what it is. You know, it's crazy because the people that talk about Me Too and wanting to protect women will gladly allow a repeat sexual offender into the country as long as they're here illegally.
That's it. And what is that? An enabler, right?
Correct.
They're enabling. Yeah, that's awesome. About the gays in the military. You know, I ain't got no problem with gays in the military. Hell, Alexander the Great was gay. So what?
Right.
You know, we still call him. We don't call him Alexander the Gay. We call him Alexander the Great.
Right. I think the problem would be with the transgender when they're talking about, well, I did a sex change surgery from the military. Pay for it.
Yeah. That's just money. They just want the free medical. But I was thinking, you know, I was back in Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And that had nothing to do with being gay. It was all about money.
Okay.
Because, you know, okay, well, if gay is wrong, we have to have separate birthings. Well, I don't think anything's wrong with being gay, but they didn't want to build separate birthings because more money.
Right.
So actually, when they got rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, they encouraged discrimination.
I
see. Because you're birthing with a straight guy and a gay guy, right? Well, why can't you birth men and women together then? Because if there's nothing wrong with being gay, there's nothing wrong with heterosexual.
I mean, it makes sense because it's like, why are you keeping the two genders apart? Because if you got a gay dude in there, I mean, at a certain point, it might be like the penitentiary. Like if you're in the Navy or something like that, I mean, you on that ship. I mean, things can happen.
Yep, and there's a lot of ships that go out with women and end up a lot of them come back pregnant.
Yep.
The tenders were notorious for that. But like I say, the big reason was money, because to redesign a ship is huge money. We're talking adding tens of millions to the budget to redesign.
Oh yeah, you know, I grew up in Virginia, and I seen the shipyards. I seen how big these ships are, and I can imagine all the money that goes into it. It's crazy. Like when they did sequestration a few years ago, we felt that. We definitely felt it.
My ship was built there in Norfolk.
Okay, yeah. I've been there. All the ice ships. Yeah, I grew up right in that same area. I would see the ships all the time. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, when you're on your way to general quarters, you run through any place you can to get to where you got to go. Well, on a ship with females, guess what? You can't run through those areas if you're a guy, because those areas are blocked off, so it's illegal to go through those. So basically, you're slowing down people getting to their GQ stations. Yeah, it's like I say, it's a big old. It has nothing to do with discrimination. Well, actually, it has everything to do with discrimination, because now they discriminate. When I was in, we used to go. They'd go, okay, if you see anything, point it out. So I go, okay. Well, if there's a fire on the ship, why does the girl have more time to run away from the fire than the guy?
Right.
As in, when you go for physical readiness training, you know, you have to run so far and so fast.
Okay,
Girls
so like
she
has more time. Literally, like, okay, if you're trying to pass a test, you got to pass it under a certain time. With the woman, she gets more time to be able to pass it.
Right. So guess what? Is that fire going to go slower if there's a woman?
No, it's not. The fire is just going to rage on.
That's it. If a wall falls over on somebody, is it going to get lighter for a woman?
Nope.
So why are there two different standards? And I thought putting different standards was discrimination.
Well, yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, but if you point that out, they tell you to shut up.
Of course.
Yeah, so they don't want to hear about discrimination unless it fits their profile.
Right.
Okay, then we can move on to the reparations and the slave trade and all that. Man, so are white people going to get reparations?
Well,
because
of course.
Well, the North African slave trade, it collected slaves all through Europe to sell in Africa for about 800 years.
Well,
probably some of my family probably ended up in Africa as slaves.
Yeah, but see,
so they're from Sicily.
The counter argument would be, of course, it's only about America. But then the other counter argument could be where they had Irish slaves. I mean, they called them indentured servants, but I mean,
servants. Yep.
Yeah, but they were slaves. I mean, I heard about accounts of the Irish slaves and the black slaves being on the same ship, and the black slave went for more money because he was more durable. He could be outside in the sun, picking fruit and stuff like that. But the Irish guy, red hair, he'd be out in the sun in 10 minutes.
He'd melt.
Exactly. So the black slave was more than the Irish slave. So the Irish slave was more mistreated and seen as garbage. So, I mean, if we're going to talk about slavery in America, let's talk about all of it, and let's not be selective.
Well, and then you'd say America, but what about Americas? Because Central America, didn't they bring in a bunch of slaves?
Well,
like 4 times as much as the United States?
Less than 5% of the slaves that came to the New World came to what is now the USA. Most of them went to South America, Central America, and the Caribbean, but mostly South America.
And weren't those all countries run by Hispanics?
Correct. Well, and the Portuguese in Brazil.
Oh, yeah, the Portuguese.
It's Latin countries.
Hispaniola.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they all came from what is the Iberian Peninsula, right?
Iberian Peninsula, correct.
Yep. So because they divided up most of the New World between the two of them.
Yeah.
Portugal and Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now we're letting in the people that invaded the Central America and killed everyone there. Now we're allowing them to come in across the border into here, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Right, you got the brand new got the brand new conquistadors coming, and that's okay. That's not really a problem. But if you hear people talk about it before, and that was the issue, that was a problem, but now it's not. I mean, it's kind of silly, but it is what it is.
That's it. Okay, ABL, I ran out of topics, so hey, you have a wonderful night.
All right, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right, great call. And thank you to the Super Chatters. Thank you to Jonestown Autopsy, who says DC Hebrew Israelites endorse Mary Pete 2020 with the open book. That's hilarious. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Lee Crow, who says they should switch it from LGBTQ to just T. Hey, that's a good point. Shout out to my man, Rob Smith, who said the same thing about how the T has kind of taken over the LGBT community, but that's a different story. Shout out to Crush Groovin, who said signing off ABL Summer Forever. I appreciate that. They also said, I wish I was single again, maybe soon. AOL rocks. All right. Thank you to Kevin Duggan, who says the illegals drunk driving in Texas is out of control. Oh, I can imagine, no license or nothing. I know C, but I don't want to get racist. Thank you to F Google, who says, love you, ABL. Love you right back. I thank you for your donation. But let me get to my next caller. All righty. 843 on the line. I'm speaking to.
ABL, what's going on, brother?
What's
happening? Mark
happening?
out of Savannah, man. I had to call in. First of all, I want to say rest in peace to the police officer that we had killed out here in Georgia. You know, black people love to talk about police brutality against black people, but they don't like to talk about black people killing other black people. He served 21 years for the United States Army and 10 years for the Savannah Chatham County Police Department. But I want to go ahead and hop on reparations real quick and just say that I'm tired of black people asking for more. Because, listen, we work hard, we ain't dumb, and I'm tired of them trying to dumb us down and break us off just a little bit of peace. You know what I'm saying? So, in my honest opinion, reparations, if we give them reparations or give us reparations, however you want to put it, it's just going to give black people another win, and they're going to keep pushing for more and more and more. We already gave them Obama. We already gave them everything they asked for, affirmative action, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. We don't need nothing else, okay? If you want some more, go out there and work for it. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, man, it's getting ridiculous, and you know it's like past callers have been saying. It's just a political move. You know, they're just saying it. They throwing it out there. You know, they said Obama didn't say nothing about it. Obama don't want to give nobody no reparations. I mean, if anything, the middle class deserves something. That's how I feel. Why are we trying to give more to the poor and all that? Listen, the poor, they got it. The rich, they got it. The middle class, we the ones that are struggling. We the ones that are starving. We the ones that's really fueling the whole entire economy. And I'm just tired of it. I'm a black man. I work for a white man. He treats me good. I never seen no type of racism. I'm down here in the South. We getting it in every day. And it is what it is. I don't feel bad when I see people out there complaining. Matter of fact, it makes me upset when I hear people complaining, because this is the best country in the entire world for black people. If they have a problem with the slavery or whatever, that's too bad. You better go somewhere else and see how they treat you over there. People keep talking about the slave trade in Africa and all that. It's all true. I don't get why black people, they just getting too accustomed to sitting on the couch, walking to the mailbox and getting a check. They're getting so tired, they don't even want to walk to the mailbox no more. They want them to come and put the check in their hand at the door. I'm tired of it.
Hey, I feel you on that 100%. And that I was thinking the same thing. We got to stop trying to ask for stuff. Ask another handout, another gift to us. We got to go out there and get it. I mean, this country is so many ways to make money out here. A lot of opportunities you're just waiting for people to take. A lot of set aside things just for us to go out there and take. But we got to want to get it. When you enable people with more handouts or more benefits, it makes them lazier and lazier and lazier.
Yeah.
And you're always going to be in the perpetual lower class.
Right. And, you know, people love to talk about Obama and what Obama did for black people, which was nothing. They can't name what he did for you. I try to tell people this. Obama came in the White House for 8 years. He tried to give y'all all this help, all this assistance, but he didn't teach y'all how to become a millionaire like he did. Where's that at? All these black leaders in the communities with millions of dollars, but they not teaching the black community how to hustle, how to get out there and how to do it. They trying to push them this Afro-American nonsense, because they don't want them to be Americans and be successful and do what the white man does. And it makes no sense. As a black man, why would you not want to be like a white man if we see how much success white people have? It's not even about race, but it is at the end of the day. We have to look at race in a way, but I don't believe in that whole racism or nothing like that. I did at one point in time, and all I can say is at that time I was very ignorant, and I would consider myself a criminal. And all I want to say is, if it's any Democrats or anybody out there that's listening, I want to say this: stop defending the people that are doing the wrong thing. Just because they're the same color as you don't mean they're on the same team as you. It's the same people that's breaking in your house, the same people that's robbing you. It's the same people that's doing all that nonsense. Let's stop worrying about the wrong thing, and let's start worrying about success and worrying about the future. But that's all I got to say, ABL. I just wanted to call in and get that off my chest, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Like I said, rest in peace to that police officer that got killed in the city. He was a black police officer. If y'all want to get mad about black people getting killed, be mad about that. He served this country for 31 years, and his life was taken in cold blood. Have a good night, brother.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic call. Fantastic. I love it. Very succinct, to the point. Hey, great call. One of the best of the night. Thank you for that, man. Really, really appreciate it. And the lines are jumping. I'm going to try to get to everybody. Y'all just hang tight. All right. Let's go to Nico, what's happening?
Hello, Anthony. How have you been, bro?
Everything's been great, man. Can't complain.
Oh yeah, you know what I gotta say, dude, is that um, it's just so far so good. I might be ready for next month. My modeling career might be sometime next month or August.
So, have you heard some feedback from Los Angeles? Are you been in communication with them?
Might be San Francisco since I live close by, but I
Okay.
might be Los Angeles.
Okay.
Hey, but it's like I said, anyway. So I just want to say something. Remember when you said I remember there was something that was on my mind last week that I forgot to tell you about. Um, so have you know when you said that Beto O'Rourke, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? Did you say his real name was Robert?
Yeah. Robert Francis O'Rourke.
Robert Francis. Sounds like he's in line to be the next king of England.
That's what it sounds like, don't it?
Here's something I really thought. He's a white guy completely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's something that really annoys me. He changes his name. So you know how he changes his name to supposedly sound Hispanic? And here's this thing that really irks me since I'm Hispanic myself is that we do not use Latin names or Spanish names exclusively.
Okay. That's interesting.
No, I mean we're not always named your Jose's or your Robertos or your Ariellas or your Esmeraldas. We do borrow names even from the Great Britain or even Scandinavia.
Right. It could just be like a English sounding name. It doesn't change you and your identity. Your name just may not necessarily be the same as what somebody would expect.
I mean, my name is actually Greek.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and my dad's name was actually Chester, and and my dad's name was Hispanic was named Chester, and that's a completely British name.
Right, exactly. Like my name, Anthony Brian Logan. They say, "Oh, you got a white boy name." It's like, it's a name. I mean, what are you talking about? I'm an American. It's an American name. It's simple.
Yeah, and then also I do know a Mexican woman who's actually named Ingrid, and that's actually a Swedish name.
Right.
So I'm just giving some examples. We do not use Spanish names exclusively.
Right.
So therefore, change your name. So that's kind of what really irks me. Even if you change your name to make it supposedly sound Hispanic, it's not really going to make a difference to how much of a buffoon you are.
Right. I'm with you.
All right. And by the way, here's something really interesting. You know about the LA homeless crisis, right?
Oh yeah, out of control right now.
Well, believe it or not, have you heard of Mayor Eric Garcetti?
What did he say?
Well, believe it or not, he's actually in big trouble right now. That the LA locals are actually proposing a recall of his position.
Oh really? They're trying to get him out of the mayorship.
Yes, they are. I'm sure from the outside, since you're all the way out in the Midwest, it's probably a surprise to you. But since I live here in California, I mean, you probably understand how fed up the LA locals are.
Oh yeah, I can imagine because I mean the crisis down there is crazy. I mean, I've seen like Skid Row and other places. You got rats everywhere, human waste everywhere, needles, all kind of just garbage. It's really out of control, and I think I think it's getting worse because a lot of the programs that people in LA and San Fran are trying to institute are drawing homeless people there.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that you know how they talk about California, like California is the pride of progressivism. California is the future for America. But the way how I see it, I think for the Democrats, mostly the far left Democrats, that California has actually become their own ticking time bomb that's soon ready to go off.
And that may be the case. I definitely would not be surprised.
I mean, they're imploding right now. I mean, not just that. You have many of them resigning for sexual assault allegations. And then you have many people who are calling to resign right now. And then you have a lot of. I mean, even though California is a sanctuary state, there are a lot of anti-sanctuary cities here in California.
That's right.
I see how they're so mostly really high up in their penthouse ivory towers of San Francisco or Pacific Heights or Beverly Hills, but yet they don't realize that the foundation that's holding up their ivory tower is gonna explode from under, and it's gonna come toppling down.
Oh, it definitely will, and it'll be sooner than later for sure.
Yeah, and I'm actually seeing it, and it seems like it's really happening out here.
Right.
Yeah, and that's so probably there might be some hope for California after all, because in the end, it's my state. It's always been my state, always has, always will be.
Well, I'm glad you have some hope for it. Hopefully, we can turn that around because California is a beautiful place, but you got a lot of these leaders in the big cities that want to make it not a beautiful place. So we can turn that around. That'd be fantastic, man.
Well, I mean, everywhere you go, I guess when you live here, California is actually a much bigger state than you realize.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you realize
because on the East Coast, like the amount of land area that California takes up would be like 6 states or more. So yeah, it's a pretty big place and diverse because you can go all the way down to like Tijuana or all the way up to like Redding up to almost Oregon. It's a big land area.
yes, and so is Central Valley, and so is that, that area that's west of Arizona, that part of California.
Yeah.
That part of California is actually a completely deep red district out there.
Is that
I think
is that called IE Inland Empire?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to say something else. So with remember when I said something about demographics and how people are talking about demographics when I said how Texas and California have both have huge Hispanic populations, but one state is deep blue and the other state is deep red. That's the same thing with New York and Florida. You see these Hispanics who are supporting Trump. That is going on really big for California. Have you actually seen that?
I seen what now?
Hispanics for Trump.
Oh yeah. I definitely seen that. I've met a few personally, and it's a lot more of them than some people would think. Yeah, I've definitely seen quite a few.
Florida and New York have the same demographics as they both have the same demographics, but New York State, which is a deep blue state, and then you have Florida, which is a deep red state. And I remember seeing these journalists, these newspapers that say, "Oh my God, Trump is coming to Florida." But think about the Orlando shooting. It's also where Orlando has a huge Hispanic population. Like, oh my God, he's gonna spread fear to Hispanics.
Right, I'm with you.
These journalists, probably what you see in the New York Times or Washington Post or something like that.
Oh, of course. But I don't mean to cut you right here, but I got a lot of calls on the line I'm gonna try to get to before I close out. So I thank you for the call as always, man.
Time.
All right.
So I'll let you. I'll cut you off from here.
All right, now take care.
See ya.
All right, thank you to my man Nico for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. The lines are blowing up. I'm gonna try to get everybody on as soon as I can, but if I can, I'm sorry. What can I do? It's not my fault. But thank you to all the super chatters and everybody that's in here. If you're watching the video, please give me a like right now. The likes are free. Sharing it is free. All that good stuff is free. So let me go ahead and get that and get to my next call. Okay, hold on. Let's go. Wow, the calls are just flooding in. 502, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, ABL?
What's happening?
Oh, not much. This is Nacho from Nacho's live stream.
All right, Nacho, what's happening?
I was just calling in to talk a little bit about the reparations, which we all know isn't going to happen. But I've said this before: if it does happen, would they only pay it out to people that have, black skin? Because, in people's bloodline, races have mixed, and now you have white people who actually have, their bloodline, roots back to, a black person that was possibly a slave. So, I mean, would they base it off of skin color? Because if they did, then that is racist.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I was asking some of the same questions to people that support reparations, and I was getting all kind of kickback talking about, oh, it don't matter, we're gonna get the check, because at a certain point you got to figure out who you're gonna pay it to. I'm thinking like you got to have a certain percent of your DNA to be of African origin. And the funny part is that a lot of these folks that are out here screeching for reparations, who think they're going to get it, probably won't get it because they don't meet the qualification. One of the main people that's out there talking about it, Yvette Carnell, is like almost half white. So how would you get reparations? You're not even really meeting the qualifications.
Exactly. And another thing is, if they pay these reparations out and say you get it, your neighbor doesn't get it, what do you think that's going to cause in the black community? With some people getting it and the other half of them are not getting it, that's going to cause a lot of deaths. A lot of people are going to get killed over that.
Oh yeah. I remember back in the day, it was this lead settlement money because it was these projects that had lead contaminants in it, and it was a lawsuit filed on behalf of the residents, and a lot of the kids, they got a settlement, and it was put into a trust fund. So when they turned 18, they got that money. People were getting beat down by that money, shot behind that money, all kind of stuff, just by some settlement from a small little project. So imagine if that whole thing was all over the black community and some got it and some didn't get it. It'd be a problem.
What I see, of course, how the Democrats are, but I call them Democrats because they are crabs. But it's almost like the Democrats, if they actually make this successful, to me, it looks like they're trying to kill off the black race even more than, Planned Parenthood, because they know what would happen in the black and some of the black communities, that they'll kill each other over that money.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true.
So that's all I had to say, and thank you for taking my call.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, later.
All right, thank you to Nacho for the call. Most certainly appreciate it. I was thinking Nacho's live stream, and thank you for the call. But shout out to my man Nacho for the call. Most certainly appreciate it. Let me get to the next call here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description. All right, Nipin, what's happening, boss?
Hey, Anthony.
What's going on?
Hold on. My
Nipin, we live, man. Come on now.
My headphones. I'll just do it without headphones. I'll just put new batteries in.
All right. So what's going on?
So how are things?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
So Mitch McConnell gets called a hillbilly.
That's right.
For not supporting reparations.
100%. How you feel about that?
He's absolutely right. I know I'm going to be called a racist.
Hold on. You think that Mitch McConnell is a hillbilly?
No. I said he's right.
For not supporting reparations.
So,
Nippy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just putting a new battery inside my headphones.
All right, we got to keep on rocking, man. Come on, live.
Honestly, this has never happened before.
All right, can you hear me?
This has never happened before.
Nippin, come on.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, let's continue.
Yeah. So yeah. Reparations for what? For something that happened over 100 years ago.
That's the argument.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the Democrats who were responsible for the slavery issue, not the Republicans.
Well, that'd be correct.
Yeah, all the Democrats back in they voted for the Confederacy. Jefferson Davis, the enforcer of it all, was a Democrat.
Well, yeah, I mean, all of them back then were Democrats, but I think people like Steve Harvey, they don't really understand. A lot of these guys are just kind of ignorant to facts. They're ignorant to history, and they just go off of what they feel, what they believe. He also said that the North fought the South to end slavery, but that's not possible because North had slaves throughout the entire war. So that whole narrative was just not right. So he's just coming from a place of ignorance, not knowing the facts for what they are.
Okay. Yeah. The US were on the brink of war with Iran. And then Trump pulled out.
That's correct.
And yeah, it wouldn't have been a nice sight because Iran has allies like China, like Pakistan, like Turkey. I think even Russia.
Even Russia, that's correct. I think.
Wait, I thought Russia was on our side.
No, they're not our enemies, but they're not on our side either. They're kind of like just they're their own kind of they're their own power. They're their own superpower in that part of the world. So they're not our allies, or they're not our enemies either, in my opinion.
Yeah, so they're like in their own little bubble.
Yeah, pretty much. They're kind of like trying to be something similar to us, but on a smaller scale.
Yeah. Now, but we have stronger allies. Like you guys have us. You guys have France. You guys have Italy. Pretty much the whole of the European Union.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is on the American side.
Right. I mean, it wouldn't be a thing that I would want to get involved in because it'd be a lot of it'd be a lot of deaths, it'd be a lot of unnecessary bloodshed to get into that kind of conflict. So I'm not a fan of it at all.
Well, neither am I.
Yeah.
The only people who, and you know, the ironic thing about Steve Harvey calling Mitch McConnell a hillbilly.
What's that?
Is that Mitch McConnell doesn't even always support Trump. In fact, he has publicly spoken against decisions made by Trump.
Well, of course. But Steve Harvey is just talking. Yeah, but you're right. And also another thing.
He's a rhino. So I don't know what Steve Harvey's talking about.
Yeah, but something else. I mean, Steve Harvey is a hillbilly himself. He's from Welch, West Virginia originally. His family were coal miners, so he's a hillbilly. If Mitch McConnell is a hillbilly, then so is he.
Yep. But yeah, these people have this image of a hillbilly as being a white gun-toting man with a long beard.
Well, hey, you know that ain't really. You know, if you go to West Virginia, you see how similar they are. Like a guy like Steve Harvey, his family, it'd be the same thing as somebody lived right next to him up in the hills in West Virginia. It's all the same kind of culture, kind of isolated up in the mountains, kind of a little bit behind. Yeah, that's Steve Harvey's people.
And the hills.
Yeah.
Now, from my side of the so yeah, we are down to 2 men. We are down to 2 men.
2 men in what? What you mean?
In the race for the prime minister.
Okay, so you still got Boris, right?
Yeah, Boris, and I believe the other one is Jeremy Hunt.
Okay, so you
think Boris will win it. I think it'll be Boris.
Now,
I think we've seen the light. I think we've had enough of this anti-Brexit. The people have spoken.
When's the next election?
I don't know. I think next year or the year after. I'm not sure.
Okay, so he won't be there for so long until the next election, and then he has to get reelected.
Yeah, I think he will actually.
Okay.
Because we're no fans of socialism either. In fact, Jeremy Corbyn is having troubles within his own party as well with people. In fact, a friend of mine who is an avid supporter of the Labour Party was actually kicked out of it for not agreeing with Jeremy Corbyn's ideas.
Interesting.
And yeah, California is basically like what one of your previous callers said, a time bomb waiting to explode.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of problems in California, but the unfortunate part is that it's really just in the big cities, LA and San Francisco. That's really where it's at.
Yeah, those big cities are gonna fall apart.
Yeah,
And then California will basically become how many people live in the state?
50 million.
Yeah, it'll basically become a 50 million Wyoming.
Well, I think what'll happen is that it'll break up. Pardon me, it's actually 40 million in California. 40 million in California. It'll just break up, in my opinion.
Yeah, you'll have the 51st state.
It might be more than one state. It might break up into 3.
You'll have 53 states. You'll have to redesign your flag.
Yeah, it'd be new flags, but see that'd be
new flags, new governors,
new
six more senators.
Yes, correct.
2 from each state.
That's right.
So
well, Nippin, yeah. I don't mean to cut you right here, but I got a lot of calls on the line, so I got to get to a few more.
So yeah, we'll get on to the Jussie Smollett case and Joe Biden. Sorry, what were they? Just give me 30 or 40 seconds on that.
I have to get to some more calls because I'm running out of time. So thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Catch up on that next week then.
Next time, there we go.
Yeah, I shall see you on Thursday.
All right, Thursday your time, Wednesday my time. I got you, boss. Yeah. All righty, thank you for the call.
Peace.
All right, thank you to my man Nippin for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. You guys want to enjoy the number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. The lines are jumping, so I'm going to try to get you on as soon as I can. 313 on the line. What's speaker to?
What's up, man? It's John from Detroit. How you doing?
Everything is good, man. Can't complain.
All right, man. Let's tackle this reparations thing one more time because I think people are not paying attention. You get reparations when the government breaks its own laws. That's kind of how it works. The Japanese got reparations because the government, FDR, a Democrat, broke his own laws. He violated the constitutional rights of the Japanese, and he had to pay them for it. The same thing Andrew Jackson did to the Native Americans. Black people cannot get reparations because slavery was legal. You cannot violate the constitutional rights of people who do not have constitutional rights. That does not make sense.
Exactly. Now the caller earlier was talking about a crime against humanity. That's what happened. But I'm like, okay, but we're talking about a crime. You mean like an actual law? Like, let's point to some laws in the books that were actually broken. But that's not the case in this situation.
Yes, but that's not only is that the case, but you also had black people who had slaves in the United States. So you cannot just say all black people should get reparations because now you have black people who are the descendants of black people who own slaves.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Furthermore, you had about 20 states in the United States that weren't even states at the time of the Civil War. Not states, but they were free states. So you have Michigan, California, Oregon. They never had slavery. You had a bunch of other states, like 13 there's states that are states now that were not states then. It's like Washington, Montana, the 2 Dakotas, Oklahoma. They weren't even states. So why would they be paying reparations? They weren't even in the country.
That's right. They're part of a whole different country or territory amongst themselves. So it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they pay when they weren't even involved at all? It was impossible for them to be involved.
Right. So then, according to the census, only about 8% maximum white people or anybody in the United States actually own any slaves. So 8% of the population is going to, and the wealth is gone, by the way. Any money ever made from slavery is gone. So the idea that we're going to take money from people who had slaves is like, okay, well, you have to go back to the standing argument. You have to find out who those people are. and who those people hurt. You're not going to do that. They just want to take money from the government because they think that the government has infinite amounts of money.
Right.
And I saw this lady, Coleman Hughes, who I'll get to in a moment. She was talking about institutions like Bank of America. And I say, okay, if you could find, like, Georgetown wants to pay reparations, whatever, who cares? Do that. But the government is not responsible. The federal government is not responsible for the individuals in the country who own slaves. The federal government does not pay you reparations because some guy shot your son in the head or something like that. That's what slavery is. It was between a person and another person. It was not the government sending you people. They were not kidnapping people. It was a slave trade. And then also, if you want to talk about reparations, why are they not talking about getting reparations from Ghana? Where these people got these slaves from? Because if you were a slave there before you were a slave here.
Correct.
And they also admitted to owning slaves and apologized.
They did apologize. That's right.
So the same argument you want to use against the federal government, you can use against the Ashanti and Ghana. But you're not going to do that because they're broke Africans? No money from them? It doesn't make any sense.
Right. I mean, you're not going to go to a well that's dry. You're going to go to where all the money is at, or where you think all the money is at. You think that it's just an endless amount of money in America, so you just pump trillions of dollars from them. But it's just a pipe dream. It's not going to actually come to fruition.
Yeah. So you get this Ta-Nehisi Coates. He's going out here talking about the legacy of Jim Crow, the legacy of, and they keep the sliding scale where it's slavery. And then once you say, well, nobody alive is a slave, they slide to Jim Crow. It's like, bro, like, you make up your mind. Where is the legacy of what is doing what to who? Because there have always been successful black people in the United States. They adapt. Like Tulsa was in the 1920s. You trying to tell me that, it's more racist today than it was in the 1920s when black people were creating their own towns? When they had their own restaurants, they had their own theaters, they had their own entire cities. Like, you can't tell me that America is more racist today than it was then. So the legacy of Jim Crow is not an argument. That does not make sense. I mean, it's just nice poetics.
And then also people talk about the family structure. They say, oh, well, we have 75% single parent households in the black community because of the legacy of slavery. It's like, well, if that's the case, then why did we have 80% two parent households in the 1960s? How is it that we've gotten worse since a time that's further away from slavery than we were closer to the end of slavery when it comes to the family structure? So that logic does not make any sense. It doesn't bridge together.
And that's because leftists completely ignore, and this goes back to the whole slavery created all of this wealth. And the wealth in the United States was created during the industrial age. The people that they refer to as the robber barons, the J.P. Morgans and all those Standard Oil and all those people, they made all the wealth in the United States. This was after slavery. And a lot of those people were immigrants. So they can't see reparations either. So this argument makes no sense anywhere at any point in time. It's just at all levels. If you look at it from every level, it is nothing but people trying to buy votes and people who want their votes bought. It's that simple.
That's right, 100%.
Okay, so Coleman Hughes, he did a good job. He did all right. I don't think that he really. I think he was more sympathetic, and he didn't really get into what I think would be the most salient points, which the things that I brought up tonight. But he did a good job, and he immediately got destroyed. Did you see that Tariq Nasheed and a bunch of other people were like digging through his life, found out that he was a SoundCloud rapper, and that he might have like a half Cuban, half Dominican grandfather or something like that? Like, it's got it ridiculous.
That's crazy. This whole ADOS thing, it's kind of absurd online, because if you had a great grandma that came from Haiti, all of a sudden you just need to be shunned from the black community. It's like, what is this? Like, when did this whole thing start of trying to find if somebody has roots all the way back to the slave ship in America, and if they don't, then it just discard it. It's silly.
Yeah, so I felt bad for him, because this is like he gets canceled like every couple of months. But I remember when he wrote a piece for Colette a while back, and he was writing about some lady's book, a black, she was a professor or something, and he critiqued her work. I mean, he's an undergrad, but he critiqued her work, and she tweeted at him like, "This kid, how dare he critique I'm a PhD." I'm like, oh Lord, like this kid really ruffles the right feathers. Like he doesn't always say the right thing, but he ruffles the right feathers, and I like him. It's just sad that people are going to tear his life apart, and now he's being dismissed for being a SoundCloud rapper. I mean, which is strange because Tariq Nasheed was also a rapper and a pimp and a failed author, and like a bunch of other things.
And he was on TV as well with the whole pimp act. Like he did like Maury or something crazy like that. So, I mean, he's kind of like pot kettle black here.
Yeah, but furthermore, Tommy Sotomayor just did a video where they show videos of Tariq Nasheed, who, he was asked if he was a pimp, and he accused the person who asked him, I think it was a woman, of being an agent. Like only agents ask these kinds of questions. So, like, what kind of agent are you that researching Coleman Hughes and trying to find out whether his parents are black or whether he's a rapper and all this stuff? Like, if somebody's an agent for asking you something that's actually public knowledge,
right? Exactly.
How are you not an agent for digging in the life of this young man instead of critiquing his arguments, which could have easily been done? I've seen people do it or try to do it anyway.
Yeah.
But Tariq Nasheed is a piece of work, man. He's one of the worst people on the internet. And I'm from Detroit. He's from Detroit. I tell you, man, people from Detroit, man, they will sell you the sickness and the cure. Do not trust them. Just don't. There was something else I wanted to bring up, but I had that reparations thing on my head, like really heavy, and I just had to get it out. But AOC. This is probably the last thing I'm gonna say, but isn't AOC Hispanic? She's like what? Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican. That's correct.
Cuban. Okay. If she's Hispanic and she cares about her Hispanic people, why wouldn't she tell her Hispanic people to stop coming where the concentration camps are?
That's a good point.
I mean, so it's like, could you imagine being a Jew during World War II and you know that, people are getting taken to these concentration camps and you have the ability to tell them billions at a time, don't come. They're gassing Jews. Don't come. And you say they should be let in.
Right. Like you're saying you basically inviting them to come. It's like, nah, come on, it's all good.
Right. You believe that there's concentration camps in the United States and you say, oh, well, come on in. Come on to the concentration camps. We're so terrible. But you bring your family. Don't just come. Bring your kids.
Right. Bring your abuela, all that. Bring everybody.
Right. Bring everybody. Chain everybody to the concentration camps. And then I'm like, just the lack of thinking, the lack of critical thought is really dangerous. And I just saw her on Twitter a minute ago tweeting about the conditions in the concentration camps, or that she claimed the concentration camps. And she also voted against funding that would have prevented this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are people not paying attention? And I think a lot of it is emotional manipulation. Like, it's emotionally manipulating people. And there's people that hurt the red light. We should be marching on the border by the millions. It's Nazi Germany. It's like, no, it's not. Last time I checked, people were trying to get out of the Warsaw Ghetto, not get in it.
That's right.
Like,
that's right.
It makes no sense. People think, people. All right, man. That's all I got. Have a nice stream, and I'll call you back sometime.
All right. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
No problem.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. That's a great point about, hey, if you know that you got concentration camps going on, then why would you be inviting people to come on through? Hey, come on. Hey, bring your kids, bring your abuela, bring your auntie, bring your TT, bring everybody, bring the whole squad. Bring grandpa. You don't need no immunization or nothing. Come on through. That's a very good point. But let me get to my next call. All right, we got Uncle Reggie, aka Kerplunk.
You mean I got through this time?
You got through, man. I got you through.
Man, I had the whole thing I was going to do and I forgot. I know it's a live show. Yeah, I just want to let you know, before all else, I just want to let you know, you get yourself a little sip of water there if you'd like. I ain't paying.
So you ain't paying, huh?
I ain't paying. As simple as that. I'm broke anyways. They broke me. Going to what Nippon was saying, that Boris election over there, that Boris and Jeremy over there going at it. They got the final coming up there. It's they got a weird thing where they drag their feet for about 6-8 months over there in England. I think people are getting a little impatient. Just saying.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
Yeah, if you don't know anything about, and I didn't up until a couple of months ago, about these elections they got going on in England. Very interesting. They got the House of Commons, which is basically like our house. It's like our House and Senate and things like that. And then they got the royal family, and that's a whole different. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, this Boris guy, I guess he got the cops called on him last night. His neighbor called the cops with a little fight in the house. Or something.
Yeah, now I heard about that. So, what was it like? The police were called. They're talking about it was no response. What's going on with that?
No, there was the neighbors. Okay, his neighbors don't like him. They're Remainers. They're not the Brexit types. They're kind of like regular. It'd be like if Trump and who'd be a good one? Ron Paul were next door neighbors.
Uh-huh.
And there was like a little scuffle or something was going on, and his wife was like throwing stuff around the house, or somebody was throwing dishes. They got into a fight.
Oh, okay.
And the neighbor called the cops on him, saying, "Oh yeah, I think someone's getting killed." So they showed up, and yeah. So that was that. They wanted. It was a little sensationalism, a little bit of drama. But that's reportedly. No, I wasn't there.
Right, I got you.
So that's just what I heard. So it seems to me like the neighbor just didn't like his ethics or whatever, and they're just waiting for just typical neighbor stuff. If you don't like your neighbor, you call the cops on them all the time.
Oh, of course.
Kind of what was going on. So there's that. You ever heard of a guy called Red Pill Ken?
Yeah, I know about him. New York dude, black dude. Yeah, I know about him.
Very, very passionate young man. I like him. I just found him the other day.
Yeah, he's awesome. Shout out to Red Pill Ken.
Red Pill Ken, you got it. I like him. Yeah, so very, very passionate man. He lives right next to the L. I kind of identify with him because I used to live right next to the L in Chicago, and it was like went right past my window, just like in his videos. So yeah, it's very. This is a very intense way of life right there, right next to a train.
Right.
It's like the Blues Brothers. You ever saw the Blues Brothers where they go in that crappy little room?
I never seen it, so I wouldn't even.
It's basically like I think they're like kind of like a couple of Antifa members. The way they're dressed up and they're doing the blues and they hate Nazis and stuff like that. There's Nazis in there too. They're actually kind of a comical. Yeah, Blues Brothers is a good movie.
Okay.
But you got to check that out sometime. At least catch a clip of it on YouTube. You'll be hooked. So there's that. Who else did you have over there? Oh, Jussie Smollett. You didn't hardly touch on Jussie Smollett. What's going on there? Kim Fox. She looks like she got herself in a little trouble there, huh?
Well, yeah, she was in trouble from the beginning because of the way she handled it. Now, according to the law up there in Cook County, when she recused herself, they were supposed to be a special prosecutor appointed. But what she did was appoint her assistant from her office to be the quote unquote acting state's attorney. But the judge was like, ain't no such thing. That's not a real position you just made up. You got to have the prosecutor come in and take your place. But she didn't do that. So there's going to be a special prosecutor to look at the entire case, not just with Jussie, but also with Kim Fox to see if she mishandled it.
So she's like making up Oh wow!
Yeah, you
that
can't.
ain't cool.
Yeah, you can't just say, okay, I recuse myself. But hey, here's my friend from my office, the guy that gets my Starbucks in the morning. He's going to be the acting state's attorney. You can't do that. That's what she did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why Trump wanted to look into it. I see. Indeed. Wow. No. But like I said, I ain't paying. Oh, hey. Something I wanted to touch on. America was late in the game as far as slave trade goes. I'm not trying to justify slavery because we all know it's a horrible thing, but we were late in the game, and we were English, Spanish, and French colonies. You know, it wasn't America when we got in the game.
Right.
We had to kick the Spanish out, and we had to pay the French off. You know, and they left their slaves behind like old Cadillacs, man. They just left them, you know, on blocks.
Then you got to fight the British in the war.
Right. So once we gained our independence from there was like 60 years of slavery there.
Right. Correct.
People came in after independence. You know, I mean, you're talking now. You're drawing lines. You got a narrow margin of people that were here during the time America had slavery.
Right.
Before the abolition of it, and then you got like your last caller said, you got free states and you had slave states, and then there's that.
That's right. I'm going to cut you right here. It's kind of short, but I got a lot of calls. I got a little bit of time left, so I'm going to try to get everybody on as soon as I can.
Thanks for taking my call, ABL, and I hope that maybe I give a little bit of fuel for somebody else's fire. Everybody click them thumbs up. Check out the merch in his little boxes below, and share it up if you can. It's a shareable video.
All right, no doubt, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Peace. Deuces, man.
Peace. All right, thank you to my man, Uncle Reggie, a.k.a. Kerplunk. I definitely appreciate the call. And shout out to everybody. I'm going to try to get you guys on as soon as I can, so y'all just hang tight. 214, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Tariq, man.
All right, Tariq, what's happening?
Hey, man, I just want to say, man, thank God we didn't go to Trump did not strike Iran, man.
Yes, absolutely.
Man, that would have taken this presidency, man. Like, there's so many unforeseen consequences that would have came out of that, man. And, you know, the thing about it is, you know, I want Trump to succeed. So it's like sometimes when people see me criticizing Trump, they thinking it's coming from a place of hatred. No, it's like, you know, like if I watch you debate someone and I see that you are making great points, but you're kind of talking, being loud and emotional, I'll be like, you know, maybe you should articulate your points better. You don't have to yell and have the moderator always tell you to calm down. You know what I'm saying? That's like me looking out for you. That's like not me hatred. But, you know what I'm saying? I called this before because I remember I told you about, you know, and I keep bringing this up, but it's so valid. The problem is that I feel like Trump, this is his weakness, and maybe you can dispute or not, but I feel like he's too vulnerable to false flags. Like, I feel like he's not really analyzing situations as far as what good would it be for Iran to just attack the United States. And I say that because with the whole, I'll bring this up again, with the whole Syria thing, you know, Bashar al-Assad is winning the war against ISIS. You know, why would he chemically gas on people knowing that Trump set a red line stating if you gas your own people, the United States will interfere? And then there's chemical attacks in this country. And it's just like, do we not ask who benefits from that chemical attack, Assad or the rebels that he's killing? You know what I'm saying? And then for Trump, he just launches attacks. And when he does that, the neocons, the warmongers in his parties were like, dang, if Trump is just attacking people and not even assessing the situation, how about we fly a drone near Iran's border and let them shoot it down, or we fly it across the internet? Who knows? We don't even know if it's in international waters or not. But the fact is that there's a United States drone flying near its international waters. And I'm just like, why are we doing that? Now, I'm not going to blame Trump for that, 'cause I don't think Trump is ordering drones to be flying around there. I think there's someone from the inside that wants this war. I'm blaming John Bolton more than anything. And they're making these provocations against Iran, man. And I just feel like, why do we got to be the only country just like fighting them? You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, why can't we just, you know what I'm saying, just be cool? Like, I don't understand just all this rhetoric. Even with this bombing, right? Was that? I'm thinking it was a Japanese ship. I'm not sure. But from what I'm reading, I heard like the Japanese prime minister was visiting Iran or something. And I'm just thinking, like, when I see an attack, I'm just like, what's the motive? What is the motive for Iran to bomb a ship? Like, I mean, just to get world condemnation, I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm hearing, like, the sailors on the ship saying Iran didn't bomb them. But then you got Mike Pompeo, this has Iran's fingertips all on it. I'm like, how do you know that? You know what I'm saying? You're just talking. Like, do you have any proof? And, you know, when the world sees things like that, they're not all just agreeing with the United States. And I feel like where Trump messed up is that he's getting advisors, especially for the national security, who doesn't see the world view his way. I think he should have hired like a Ron Paul or someone who's like, yo, we need to mind our own business, stay out of these foreign wars. There's no benefit for the United States. And then when we get into these Middle Eastern foreign wars, it just creates more problems. I feel like if Trump hires people who thought like him, and not people like John Bolton, who has a track record of pushing this country into war with Iran, pushing this country into war with Libya, pushing this country in war in Syria, pushing this country in war with Iran. John Bolton has been wrong every single time. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, why is he there advising you? Like, I don't understand. You know, John Bolton, limited strikes. They say, you know, we'll just have some limited strikes. There is no such thing as a limited strike attack in Iran. If you shoot a missile anywhere in Iran, that is an act of war.
That's war. That's war right away.
Exactly. Bro, could you imagine Russia be like, you know what, United States have sanctions against us. We're just going to limited strike them. Let's just shoot a missile into
like if they were to strike Guam or something like that, we're going to hit them immediately.
Exactly. There is no such thing. But you got these neocons that's like limited strike. I think they say limited strike for the Americans who are not paying attention. Because, like, there is no such thing as limited strike. That is an act of war. Right. So I just thank God that I don't think Trump really wanted to launch this attack. I just think, like, his senses is like, okay, this is an unmanned drone. Is this really worth the consequences? Really? And the liberal media is you know, it's like they're like, I was watching CNN, right, and there was like I don't know this lady's name. You know, CNN got a whole bunch of nobodies on there. You know, they got Bill Kristol. You know, these people who are always wrong on foreign policy. CNN gives them a platform. But anyways, you know, there's one lady talking about Trump looks weak because he backed down on his word. He should have struck Iran. I mean, that is an unpatriotic statement to make. But I'm like, you're willing to take this country into an unforeseen war, and you don't even know the consequences over an unmanned drone, and you're calling Trump weak for that. You know, so to make you feel happy, Trump should just bomb Iran so that you can feel happy. Iran, a country of 80 million people, okay? There's a lot of foreign interest in Iran, including Russia, okay? Syria is a land with Iran. Lebanon has Hezbollah's Iran, a line of Iran. We don't know, and we bomb these people. We don't know what Middle Eastern consequences could befall us. Iran controls the Straits of Hormuz. Now, the United States doesn't have any oil going through there, fortunately. But other countries do. Do you think they're going to want to put up with a war with Iran where they got the Straits of Hormuz closed down because we want to go to war with them? Like, it's just going to piss the world off. You know, I think we should just try diplomacy. I really do think that. I wish we would just stop being so bellicose and just, okay, let's try real diplomacy. And real diplomacy, unfortunately, is going to mean lifting of some sanctions. The United States is going to have to show goodwill. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, but no country is going to want to give up X, Y, Z expecting the United States to lift sanctions. No, we're going to have to show some type of goodwill. That is true peace. if you look at Trump in North Korea is not ever going to change its stance unless there's some lifting of the sanctions. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand why we don't understand that. It just angers me because I was looking on Facebook, especially with the whole Trump thing, and sadly, a lot of people who support Trump were just okay with him going attacking Iran. And my thing is like, I don't think those people have the best interest of Donald Trump, because if you really want someone to succeed, if this is your family member, if they're wrong, you're going to call them out. You're not going to call them out because you want them to fail. It's because you call them out because you love them and you want to succeed. But when you got these Trump supporters who are like, yo, I'm with the president, we need to bomb Iran, but then you want to turn around and say Bush and Obama was wrong, or no, you're going to say Bush was wrong for going to Iraq. Obama's wrong for going to Syria and Libya. You look like a hypocrite. Like, be consistent. You know what I'm saying? We want this president to succeed. You're going to say, Trump, we love you, man, but please do not attack Iran. Just whatever you do. We don't need the Democrats, because I'm telling you, bro, if we attacked Iran, the level of consequences that came from that, I don't think Trump would survive a 2020 presidency.
Yeah, I think that'd be disastrous, man, for sure. Because you do something like that, now you're gonna have a wave of other attacks that happen. You're gonna have the Iranians talking about, well, Trump shouldn't have done this. This is a grave mistake. Then you're gonna have other nations involved. It'd just be really, yeah.
It will be a mess. And you got to understand, the United States is already stressed out as it is, man. We're on dang near every Middle Eastern country. Not only that, we got troops in Germany, troops in Japan, troops in Korea. We cannot keep stretching our military out like that. And we don't even know how much this would cost. Like, we're not thinking of the economic consequences. Yeah. Trump already is doing good with the economy. Don't have this war be the thing that takes your presidency. And Trump supporters really need to be like Trump. Chill. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel you.
You're doing good.
I feel you on that,
Go ahead,
man. But I got to get to a few more. I'm gonna try to get one more call before the end of the show, man. Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate
All right,
you.
man. Take care, man.
All right, same to you. All right, thank you to my man Tariq for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to everybody out there watching the show. I really appreciate y'all for watching. I got time for one more. Do I got my super chats? Hold on, right quick. Thank you to Crush Groovin for the super chat, who says they're white. Thank you to Song 91, who says everything is exorcism. Thank you to James Miller and Missy Ann for your donation. I really appreciate y'all. Let me get to this next call. 305, you're online with speaker 2. Turn your speakers down, please.
I got time for one more. Do I got my super chat? Hold on.
305. All right, 305, you got to be listening. Like, if you're trying to call in, I think that was a new caller. You cannot be looking at the screen because it's going to be a delay. You're going to be behind. Make sure you got your ear to the phone so you can hear me when I say X, Y, and Z area code, please pick up. But let me get to my next call. 240, you're in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's your boy JB. What's up, brother?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
Man, your boy last call, a couple calls back, was on point about the reparations thing. I'm sick of hearing about it. Black people, cool with the handouts. Let's get up and work. Period.
There you go. I'm with you 100%.
Got to sum it up just like that. 'Cause these ignorants want to walk around, well, hey, I'll take your file. I'll take your money. Do you know what that does to somebody? You give them something. You don't appreciate nothing if you don't just give it to you. Like my kids, they don't appreciate things I give them, but things they earn, I make them work for it. They take care of it.
That's right, exactly. When a thing is given to them and they didn't work for it, they are less likely to take care of it because it's like, why should I take care of it? I didn't have to do anything to get it.
Exactly. That's the thing made me sick about people. So many black people are caught in this ignorant notion that we're owed something. We're not owed anything. Life is hard. Yes, we had to endure some headaches to get where we are now. That's how it goes. You gotta get through some storms to be a good to have a good outcome. But so many black people are stuck on this stupid line. We're owed this. Let's remember the day we were freed. Okay, I was never free. My ancestors was free, and I'm glad they were free for it. So they created a pathway for me. And guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my best not to make it happen again. Period. No more slavery again.
There you go. 100%.
And so many people stuck on this notion where we got to remember the past. I'm not remembering the past. I'm not going to forget the past. I'm not going to let it happen again. That is my sole purpose in life. Everybody's supposed to, if not let the atrocities that happen in the past happen again. And it's starting to happen again. And it's starting to format in welfare and handouts. Stop with the handouts. It cripples you when you take a handout. It does.
Yeah, it really does. We gotta be able to move beyond that.
Exactly. But I know you got to go ABL, but ABL, brother, you gotta get Days Gone, man. I'm trying to tell you, I'm in love with it, man. I didn't think I was in love with it. I like it, man. I'm loving it, man. I mean, once I started playing, I said, oh, it's whack, but I'm more into it now. It's like so many different missions. Like, there's one mission you gotta creep on a whole base, like 75 people on it. I'm like, how the hell am I gonna do this? I'm like halfway through it, and I'm still stuck. I still get caught, like right in the same point. Oh, and did you hear about the cheat code for $5 for Resident Evil 2? You beat Resident Evil 2 yet already?
Nah, I've not played that yet.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2, they got a $5 cheat code, and it's on sale for like $20. So you can buy a cheat code and get like an unlimited rocket launcher. You can't kill everybody with a rocket launcher. You can't. You use some garbage. All right, ABL. You take another call after me, brother. Have a nice man. I'm glad I got through, brother, man, and it's been a beautiful show. You know what I'm saying? And keep the faith, brother, man. Hey, you opening eyes, brother, man. I'll be posting all your posts on my Facebook and on my Instagram.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the call, as always. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, brother, man. Peace.
All right, now, peace. All right, thank y'all for the call. If you did not get through, I'm sorry, but I have to go. It is actually past my time. Matter of fact, hold on. I got 305. I think I did answer them, so I got to be fair. All right, 305, you're on the line. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, who am I
Yes,
speaking
I can
to?
hear you.
Who am I speaking to?
Hi, my name is Luna.
All righty, what's going on?
I'm good. You? How are you doing?
Everything is fine. Turn your speakers on in the background for me, please.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but turn your speakers on in the background for me because I'm getting a little bit of feedback. I can hear the stream.
Yes, yes. Thank you. I really appreciate you. I watch you a lot.
Okay, thank
My
you.
name is Luna. I'm calling from Florida.
All right, turn your speakers on in the background
Very
for me.
good. Very good. Thank you. What do you say?
Turn your speakers down in the background.
Oh, okay. What I want to say is that we need to get behind Donald Trump. We need to start #NoWar.
There we go. I'm with you.
Yes, we need to get behind him because if we don't stand up, he can't do it by himself. We need to show the world we don't want a war.
Absolutely. I agree. No war.
Yes, #NoWar. You need to start that, and we're going to get behind you.
That's actually a very good hashtag, actually, no war. That's a big part of the reason why I
Yeah,
voted for
let's
Trump.
do it. Start, my brother. Let's start that.
Okay.
So he knows the people who are in the White House who is pushing him. See, the American people need to stand up, just like what happened in Hong Kong. People need to stand up. They're all sleeping.
That's right.
#NoWar. God bless you, sir. #NoWar. Get
All right.
behind Trump, all of us.
All right. Well, thank you for the call.
God bless you. I am from Somalia, and war is not a good place to be. 30 years, there's a war in my country. War is not what we need now.
Absolutely. I agree. 100%.
And the American people, Trump is doing everything, but I don't see for us getting behind him. We need to get behind him. #NoWar.
There it is. Thank you for the call.
God bless you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. So #no war. You heard it from Lumi. I don't know. I don't want to butcher your name, but from the person from Somalia. Shout out to the Somalis out there. But I gotta go. If you didn't get through, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I saw some calls on the line, but I gotta go. As I could be here all night. But thank y'all for joining. I really enjoyed this show all the time. If this is your first time watching, please subscribe to the channel. And if you have not liked the video yet, please push that little thumbs up button right there. Like the video. The likes are free. The likes are free, no fees. The subscribing is free. Sharing is free. All that good stuff is free. But if you want some of these cool hats and merch, all of that is in the description box. Also up under the video with some of the little carousel of products if you want some of those. Thank you to the super chatters right quick before I bounce. I think the last one I got was from Crush Groovin, says $2 word fine, and Psalm 91 who says hashtag no war. God bless you, ABL. God bless all of you, and thank you for your donation. And that is all I got. So shout out to the moderators. We got T-Pain, of course, the boss, Michelle A, Ansel, Bill from the Hills, lots of Gene, Shreves, Protocol. Everybody, thank y'all for what y'all do, keeping the chat nice and tidy and clean and getting them trolls up out of here ASAP. That's all I got. I really enjoyed you guys tonight. I'll be back with another live show on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. Oh, matter of fact, I think the next show is going to be the Democratic debates. So what I'm going to try to do is stream the debates, and then afterwards I may do like a call-in to react to the debates. So that'll probably be what I do. And I'll do that Thursday as well because that's a 2-day debate. We're going to see, hopefully we get some mudslinging because I like to see that from the Democrats, see them eat each other alive. That's what I want to see. And that is all I got. So thank y'all for joining. If you want to continue the conversation, check out my Discord page. A link for that is in the description. My social media is in the description. You got, what am I on? I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and my website is anthonyblogan.com. If you want to send me an email or snail mail, it's on my website, anthonyblogan.com/contact. And again, all of that is in the box below. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.